wash. I'm annoyed. I'm just here to give my opinion and carry in. Oh, it's Chris Avalon Unfiltered, bitch. Hey everybody, welcome and happy Thursday. It's your boy Chris Avalon, and welcome to a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered, a show we basically talk about all things going on in pop culture and hot topics. So if that is a show for you, as I adjust my camera. Definitely stick around because we have a lot of tea to spill today, including we also about the Euphoria finale. The numbers have come out, and so we'll talk about that. Of course, we got to talk about the reason why I was late because I was watching Madonna live in New York. So we got to talk about that. We're gonna break it on down. Child, I should have just live streamed it. We could have just watched it and did a reaction, but I didn't think about it until after the fact. So we'll just discuss what we saw and our overall thoughts. We got to talk about Ted Danson still out here apologizing for that whole blackface roast of Whoopi Goldberg, who he was dating at the time. He recently did an interview with W. Kamau Bell. So we'll get into that tea when it comes up. We also got to talk about, speaking of shadiness and all the other stuff, we got to talk about Doja Cat calling Elon Musk a barrel chested Ewok. And went in on his ass and say he looked like he eats sand. Child, it looked like he eats shit out of a baby's pamper too. But we'll get into that, and then when we talk. Speaking of beefs, Cardi B is responding to Latto going on the Breakfast Club and doing this leak phone call situation because I do remember. I think that was around the time with Offset and a whole bunch of drama. So we'll get into that commentary. Post Malone fans are expressing concern after over his weird onstage antics. Child, they thinking he on them drugs or whatever the case. I mean, quiet as can be, look like a damn dope fiend, but they're thinking that he's on that stuff. And he's saying he's not on that stuff, but we're going to talk about whether or not he on that stuff when we get around to that stuff. So now we're going to talk about that. Plus, Kim Zolciak got motive that she out here saying about Kroy Biermann. She said he out here mistreating and neglecting the kids and be out here hunching multiple women within earshot, so them kids be hearing them hunching like right next to them or whatever the case is. They're talking about the sex be so loud and all the other mess. So we're gonna get into that. Shia LaBeouf, happy pride, I guess, got probation after getting in that bar fight where he, was trying to windmill on them homosexuals that was up in there. So we'll get into that. Speaking of happy pride, Kathy Hilton pulled out of the We Hope Pride event because there was some backlash over the fact that she might be MAGA or have ties to MAGA, and her spreading a homophobic slur. Because I remember back when she did the Housewives, Erica Jane, who was an ally to the community, went and revealed that Kathy Hilton used a racial and homophobic slur when she was up at a club in Aspen. So it looks like all of that has come back to haunt her. And the gays was like, no, ma'am, don't bring that old bag up in here to represent us. Quiet as it's kept. I'm sick and tired of these straight allies always being put to the front of the line when it comes to who's going to be a grand marshal or show solidarity with a community that has always been about resilience. But anyway, we'll get into that. Speaking of which, we're going to talk about Karamo Brown finally out here revealing that he got botched surgery. And child, I've been saying that for how long? And now he admitting it. It's like, girl, we can look at your face and see you botched it. But we're going to talk about it. And then, of course, Drake Vaughn wasted no time getting on social media and talking to Out Magazine. And if y'all believe this bullshit, I got a couple of shares to sell you in Boca Raton. He said that that arrest was a publicity stunt and the viral video is fake. Mind you, I have the receipts of him of the what is it, the police report and all the other stuff. We're gonna talk about it and a whole lot more. So before, and Robert asked me, am I okay? I'm later than normal. Child, I am fine. I was just late. And it is what it is. So I wanted to make sure that I have the stuff when I show y'all. Okay, let me get to it. But anyway, so yeah. So before we get to the topics, if you please do me a solid, hit that like button. If you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button and also be sure to smash that notification bell so that we can know when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. We also have super chat, super stickers. You can hype the channel, share your feelings with the group, and all that other good stuff to get the ball rolling on this messy ass show. Please and thank you. So let me hit this thingamabob so I can put y'all in. Mm, YouTube grapes told wait, what? YouTube grapes your iTunes account while you're sleeping. Madonna and Grindr partnered in 2015 to win tickets to the Rebel Heart tour. I don't even understand any of what you just read. But it's like, good evening, Cleveland's in the building. I watched the new doc on. Well, how was it? Because I was not giving that thing energy. You said you have more questions than answers. There's inconsistencies on both sides. I don't think the doc gave anything groundbreaking. Of course, it didn't. Similar to the movie. The movie gave us nothing groundbreaking. That's why I'm not buying it. I think the doc was more on the guilty side. Regardless, MJ was definitely mentally ill. Yes, we are, Onyx. We are having a great what's left of it because it's 8 o'clock. So I guess it's the evening over here on the East Coast. It must be afternoon still where you're at. I was like, what, 5 o'clock? If y'all are on the West Coast or whatever. But anyway, let me hit the banner and get a swig of water. And without further ado, let's get in our first topic. So I guess congratulations to Euphoria, even though it was a very divisive final season. A lot of people despise the finale. I didn't even watch it because I already told y'all that TMZ decided to spoil the whole damn thing in the headline. So I was like, well, fuck it. What's the point of me watching it? I already know they killed off Zendaya with a Fenty overdose. So what's the point of watching it? Because TMZ is a bunch of fucking assholes. But anyway, so it looked like they held fairly steady across its third and final season because a lot of people's out here complaining about the Sydney Sweeney OF storyline and the inconsistencies with that and all the other stuff, and Jacob Elordi getting bit by the snake, and that's how he ended up kicking the bucket and all the other mess. And it seemed like a lot of people were irritated by the way things was going out, but y'all stuck it out. At the end of the day, that's what it seemed like they're trying to say, is that regardless of all the complaints and everything, and how y'all felt about Sam Levinson and what he was doing with them characters, at least it created a water cooler moment where y'all was up on social media or amongst your friends or coworkers or whatever and talking about this show. I forget who it was, but they said that Euphoria should be shown in high schools to a lot of kids. I guess to show like how do not end up like them. I mean, so basically, it said it held fairly steady across the third and final season, delivering 8.7 million viewers in 3 days for the series finale. This is according to HBO. Now, though Warner Brothers Discovery did not provide viewership totals for each week of Euphoria season 3, the company reported that the final season's first episode hit 8.5 million views in 3 days, marking a 44% increase from the season 2 premiere on January 22nd. That means that the series' final episode, which is titled In God We Trust, and aired on Sunday night, increased on the season 3 premiere by 2%. Episodes of Euphoria season 3 are now averaging 25 million viewers, making a 17% increase from the average viewership season 2 reached in the same amount of time. For what it's worth, HBO also knows that the season 3 finale was the season's most discussed episode of cross platforms, driving approximately 140% more conversation than the season premiere. See, it was exactly what I was saying. Regardless of how y'all felt about everything that was going on, the fact of the matter is that he can get y'all talking. That was all I believe that mattered to the people over at HBO and the people behind Euphoria. So Euphoria exploded after its first season and has only grown in popularity as many of its main cast have become stars in their own right. HBO says it is now one of the most watched series in the network's entire history. Prior to the final season, the series left things on a high note in 2022 when the season 2 finale drew a then series record audience with 6.6 million viewers across all HBO platforms. Season 3 of Euphoria is set several years after the main characters have graduated from high school, marking a pretty significant time jump for the series. So I guess congratulations in order to everybody that was involved in the show, good, bad, or indifferent, and congratulations to Sam Levinson, even though there was a lot of people that ripped your show apart and said it was worse than the finale of Stranger Things and The Boys. Um, you got people talking. You got people amped up, ramped up, pissed off. Some people, I guess, felt it was very satisfying. I'm like, how y'all acting like y'all wasn't expecting Rue to not have a happy ending? That girl she's a product of addiction. Meaning, I'm not saying that it was cast down on her because when I think in some senses, when you say product of addiction, it's like your parent was an addict and then it passed it down to the child. She was caught up in doing drugs and all that other stuff. And yeah, there have been maybe been points was like, okay, I'm trying to get clean, get on the straight and narrow, but it happens that some people just, no matter how hard they try to get on the straight and narrow, some people relapse or things happen, and then they end up that one little thing that you think you can handle is gonna be the last time you ever do anything because then you gonna not gonna be in the union no more. So what are you going to do? So it is what it is. So I'm glad that in a way that they chose to not that the ending turned out to be bleak, that it wasn't like some happy ending because life doesn't work that way. Everything does not require a happy ending. So this is the final season. I know they kept trying to reiterate that so many times. I'm like, yeah, I've been new that it was the final season, but they finally said this is the final season of Euphoria. They're done. It is what it is. Y'all can move on. If you want to watch Euphoria, you just go back and watch the old episodes. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story of regarding Euphoria's finale? It brought in 8.7 million viewers. Hopefully, those were the people that came in didn't just watch the finale and then that's that. Because I don't know how y'all could just jump in and be like, you know what, I don't care about this. I just want to see how it ends. You don't like the build up. You don't like to know like everything that went on and that led up to this big conclusion. But I guess not. Some people just like be like, I don't care about the show. I just want to see how the whole thing just wraps up. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. All right, as I wait for this damn thing to open so I can read your comments. Oh, you said you in the East Coast. All right. Like I said, my internet died. Bad reception. But go to the chat, go to ask homosexual bros, because Madonna got compared to you two with her grinder takeover. That is so annoying that people are trying to compare her to the YouTube thing. She did a partnership with Grinder. They put her on there. She's doing it all for like pride and all the other stuff, which was cute. But okay, if you up there looking for dick and ass or whatever the case is, just scroll on by. You ain't got to sit up there and tap on her thing. I mean, I don't know how annoying the thing is because I don't have Grinder. I don't use the apps no more. The apps is tired. They're annoying. Um, a lot of times it's full of ads now. So it's like I'm more annoyed using it than anything. So I just got rid of it because I'm like, why do I have to keep like every time I want to look at something, an ad pops up and it's like they want you to now pay to use it. So fuck Grinder. And I don't want to say this. Like, people say, "Oh, she's amazing. She's amazing." I'm like, "Oh, cause whatever." I just can't with people. I don't even want to like rack my brain even thinking about them rhymes with maggots. Euphoria was originally promoted as a TV show about teenagers meant for adults, but because the first season went viral, I ended up watching it. Gen Z gravitated towards it because it's a relatable portrayal of kids and drugs and fucking. But it's no different. It reminds me of like the stuff that was controversial during my era growing up. Like you had stuff, you all have Euphoria. When we were growing up, we had the movie Kids, which was very controversial. Zoe 7 Year was in that. I mean, Chloe 7 Year. I'm sorry, Zoe. Chloe 7 Year was in that. I also think Rosario Dawson was in it. That was a controversial movie. Also, damn, what was the name of the other one? There was a lot of independent films that came out around that time that was showing like kids in like this and Bully also. That was another one. Ken Park. That movie was so controversial. You can't even find that nowhere because they put a scene in there of a woman sucking a kid's dick. a teenager. Like I think it was hunting. He was having there was a sex scene with him and an older woman. So they put like a blowjob saying yes, and literally he was getting blown. And I gagged seeing that movie. I think it was by the same director. So yeah, growing up in like the '90s and stuff during the real independent movie Sundance film era, we was getting a lot of those type of movies that y'all are getting now with the Euphorias and things of that nature. So I totally get it. Where you said we definitely can't deny that Euphoria is one of the most important shows. Well, that's why they said that you should show it in schools. Scary movie, Scary Movie 6 got teased a 17. Child, I first of all, um, I was hearing that the movie is not funny, and I believe it. The Wayans ain't been funny in a month of Sundays, and that's no shade. I mean, back in the day, yeah, y'all had it, but the Wayans ain't really been. They ain't had their finger on the pulse, and I think that's why they've been running around here. Well, specifically Marlon, I feel like he's been overcompensating by running around to my humor. Like humor is in a crisis. They're trying to just like blackball comedians, and comedians can't say whatever they want to say and blah 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 blah. I'm like, okay, I need an example because I don't know anywhere where comedians are being canceled. Dave Chappelle been out here saying his little tranny jokes every chance he get. Has he been canceled? No. Tony Hinchcliffe was just recently out here saying all that racist shit while you had that little 4'9" high pitched queen, Kevin Hart, tap dancing and overdoing it with the laughing so he could act like he a good sport. He ain't been canceled. Shane Gillis, who was once upon a time canceled for making a racist joke, who was also at that event, and this was years ago. That's I think he was supposed to be at SNL, or he got a gig at SNL because of the whole racist joke thing. They fired him. He was just recently did the roast, and I just did his show at the Garden that he sold out. I think he did multiple nights, if I remember correctly. He ain't been canceled. So what are we talking about? What comedians have been canceled? So y'all can say whatever the hell it is y'all want to say. They're just repercussions with those actions. And that doesn't negate the fact, yeah, if you're gonna go in and make like offensive jokes, whatever the case is, there needs to be a setup, then they need to be funny. And when people talk about this movie ain't funny, I'm not surprised. And I already heard they already started spoiling the twist or whatever it is all over social media. My thing is, do I care about Scary Movie? Not really. I've never really cared for that franchise. I mean, it was what it was. It was like, okay, yeah, it was funny back in the day. But it's never been something I was like, I have to go to the movies. Like tomorrow, I'm going to see Masters of the Universe. So in IMAX. So that's where my head is at. I could care less about Scary Movie. I mean, I'll see it when it comes out on streaming or whatever, but it's not something I'm rushing to the movies to see. And he said, "Oh, you said from college frat boy raunchy humor." I mean, I like frat boy raunchy humor, but like I said, it's got to be funny. I think the OF hate was understandable, but I think this is the first show that's ever shown drug use in the most explicit content of media. I love the show so much, even though the good, the bad. I mean, even through the good, bad. The ugly. Well, yeah, there's nothing good about. I mean, when it comes to drugs, I mean, you have to show the warts and all. I would think. So in the show, she was given fent by a dealer. She was yeah. You talking about Adabisi from Oz? You know, I'll always refer to him as that. He said she was working as a middleman for because the dealer found out she was working with the DAA. Rue was clean for a year before she was poisoned. As I said, she was at a BC pretty much. Well, you know, I always like I said, I always refer to him as that. Um, did it? We had the Grassy too, but I was too young to watch it. But my older, yeah, I watched the Grassy. That's how we know wheelchair Jimmy. Yeah, and I was upset because my so-called life that didn't even last a season. That was like the first time I seen like a Hispanic queen on a show. Shout out to Wilson Cruz because it was like we ain't never seen nobody like that on our screens. But I will agree, Degrassi was a little more watered down. It was more like they tackled heavy topics, but they handled it with a little bit with kid gloves. They didn't really go there. Like, but then again, it's Canadian TV. Um, you can pretty much go wherever with HBO. HBO is very open when it comes to the type of content they do. I watched Degrassi when it would air on the Teen Nick channel. Oh yeah, I remember Teen Nick. I was in elementary school watching Manny getting a not you bringing up that, and Tristan sleep with his teacher. Child, them kids was a mess. Cinematic budget for television. I think that's the only thing Sam should be praised for. Well, yeah, it definitely is a good looking show. But I think we said Grand Army, which was the Netflix answer to Euphoria, but I think it was a bit more intriguing, especially with it set in New York and the great storyline. I don't think I watched Grand Army. Another show that I liked that was about teenagers, but it was in Spanish. Elite. That show was crazy too. That's on Netflix. Kevin's annoying, but to be honest, I thought he had the best set. Given the current climate wherein Scary Movie 6 should be a box office, it's definitely going to be a big hit because we're in the era of people trying to go against the whole cancel culture thing. But they're probably going to go watch it and be like, this movie was this movie was ass. That's probably what a lot of people will come out saying. But it must be the writing and jokes. I love that tongue-in-cheek frat boy humor is hilarious if done correctly. I mean, when done correctly. Coleman Domingo was as Ali made me cry. Yeah, he was definitely good on that show. You know, Coleman Domingo was in every damn thing. American Pie, first scary movie. Yeah, we love American Pie over here. Oh yeah, I definitely love Sex Education. I think I only lasted the first two seasons, and then afterwards, I kind of forgot about it. I did watch Skins. You know, Nicholas Holt was on that show. There's a lot of people that came from that show. A lot of famous British actors. Nicholas Holt was on there. Who else? Um, no, I don't think John Boyega was on there. I gotta check. Oh no, it was Daniel Kaluuya who was on there. It was and it was yeah, Nicholas Holt, Dev Patel, Daniel Kaluuya, and I was like, yeah, it was them. There was three that they started on that show. But yeah, I definitely did watch Skins. They tried to make Skins in the U.S. I think MTV tried to do. Child, it was a chop. It was a mess. We didn't like it, so that's why I don't think it lasted long. But yeah, the UK Skin that show was crazy. They tried. Yeah, people are just so annoying. It's like we can't have nothing nice. As terrible as it might sound, I stopped my personality after Cassie and Mm-mm. But look, we live and we learn. But anyway, let's get back into the show and let's talk about Tanta, who just made her appearance not too long ago over in Times Square, performing new songs from Confessions 2 and also performed some cuts from the first Confessions. She came out on top of, well, let's put it up. It was cute. Okay, so in the beginning, let's start at the beginning, where they basically just showed like the little grinder interview Q&A thing about sexual positions, all other stuff with Bob the drag queen, a bunch of other personalities. I muted it because that was around the time that the Love Sensation single came out over on Spotify. So I actually and on YouTube they put it up the visualizer. So I muted the TV because I was like, I already saw this. I don't need to sit through that again. And I listened to Love Sensation three times in a row because I'm like, okay, this song is cute. Because in the beginning, I'm not gonna hold you. I did have this. I kind of got this feeling based off a little snippet that I heard yesterday that to me it felt like it was sounding a little bit like "Bring Your Love," and I'm like, I know she is not reheating her nachos on a song she already just released. So, but come to find out, she didn't do that. Once you hear the whole song. And it's definitely a vibe, and I definitely feel what she's going for with this album so far. So far we got three singles. She started out with "I Feel So Free," where she was like laid out with the veil on her face, similar to the album cover, on top of the DJ deck booth thingy bajingy, the table, the desk, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Stewart mixing behind her, and then she goes into the Bring Your Love sing a song, which I need that remix. I don't know what remix that is, but I need that remix. That remix, I actually like it better than the original song. And then, of course, she performed Love Sensation. She had a bunch of backing dancers. I know a lot of people are going to compare this to her. Oh, yeah, I mean, I'm a Charlie XCX because Charlie XCX did something similar. Charlie XCX is not the only one that also performed it. There's been other performers who have performed in that little area of Times Square, which I think is kind of cute. They have this little thing that opens up, and there's a little stage on the inside, and they perform. So, but I also forgot to mention Kevin Aviance DJ'd before Madonna came out and performed or whatever the case. I wonder where that little spot was in Times Square they was at. So Kevin was on the decks before we got to Stewart and her performance, skipping around. This is what happens when you don't write notes. This is me off the top of the head. And um so he was playing a couple of tracks, had a couple of cute boys around him shaking what little ass they thought they had. And then we got into Madonna coming out on stage, and you see her here. First of all, let's get into Madonna. The hair, the body, over. She was everything. I was like, I'm sitting there thinking, like, this bitch is 67 years old. And if she had any kind of surgery, which they did get a couple of shots at that botched booty, which I must say look way better than it did before. And look, it don't look like like shitty diaper booty, like what Cardi has. And that's no shit. I love you, Cardi, but your booties do look like it do look like it's shaped like you got shit in a diaper back there need to be changed. But booty looking good. Everything is looking good. The body is on point. I'm like, at 67, this is how she looked. If there was a little surgery to help her sculpt a little bit, money well spent. But I do think that she also does work out and do strength training and all the other stuff, which she has shown us that she has been doing. And she was doing that during, when she was in the ICU and she almost died. She was working on, once the tour and everything was done, getting her core strength back and her physicality. I also love the fact that, yeah, she wanted to be up in there giving all that full 110% energy that she normally does. First of all, I was scared the whole damn time because the way that whole stage is set up and is like hovering over people, like if she went over that glass, it'd be curtains for her. But it's so small and restrictive. So I could totally understand like the limitations that she really wanted to kind of like thrash around and have a good time. And hopefully she'll be able to do that on the tour. But I do hope that she paces herself. Girl, we don't need you out here throwing yourself around and doing all the like trying to match the 20-year-old dancers with the choreography. You've given us enough. We know you could throw down on a stage. I need you to start just pacing back and forth and doing a little choreo here and there, like how Kylie Minogue works the stage. Kylie don't be overexerting herself. She be focusing on the singing, being personable with the audience, the showmanship, and all that stuff. That's what you need to give us. Just get up there. And she looked like she was having a good time too. I like the outfit. And everything. And so yeah, she definitely looked good. I love the performance. And then there was a point where she's even started getting behind the decks and DJing. I'm like, girl, it's cute. But yeah, she was messing around with the decks for a second. And then after she did the first three singles, then she gave us some classics. She gave it from the Confessions era. She played I Love New York, which duh makes sense that you're in New York, you sing I Love New York. We haven't heard her sing that in a month of Sundays. Because the other songs she did lip sync, or the backing track was really loud and she would just sing real low. But nevertheless, a lot of people want to say she lip sync. But when it came to the Confessions one tracks, she did sing those songs loud because we could hear her while she was singing. But I think the reason why she wasn't really singing the other song because she wanted everybody to just hear the new songs and get into the studio versions rather than her being like, oh, I'm going to do a live version of these tracks. I want y'all to actually hear the songs. So what did she do? She did Hung Up. She did I Love New York. And oh my God, what was the third one? Because I know she did three tracks. But not you saying she too old to wear lingerie. Speaking of lingerie, they had a drag race girl that was there. I saw Jaden Essence Hall. Oh yeah, I feel so free. I don't know how I forgot that damn song. I just said it earlier. So yeah, no, that was the original song, but she sang three songs. It was Get Together. That's what it was. So And we ain't heard her sing that song since the Confessions tour. So yeah, she did 3 songs. She did Hung Up, well, 6 songs. She did Hung Up, Get Together, and I Love New York from the original Confessions album, and 3 of the singles from the new album. So it was good enough. It was like what, 30 minutes of a performance. And I have to say that Love Sensation, I definitely like the song. And the way that it melds into Sensation melds into Get Together, I have to say that was perfect. And this is why I said that I have a feeling this is what's going to happen with this upcoming tour. I do believe that it's probably going to be a one nonstop melding into each other with the tracks and everything. If when she tours, that she's going to be performing a lot of the songs from the new album, a lot of the songs from Confessions. So the songs will be blending into each other. And I do think that she will throw a couple of the classics in there, of course, and probably do like different dance mixes of those songs. So great performance. I'm looking forward to the new album. It is literally a month away. We're a month away. Well, a month and a day. Well, not a month and a day. It's less than a month because today is the 4th. The album comes out on July 3rd. And yeah, so I'm looking forward to the new album. She looked great. The dancers were performing their ass off. She even had like a little flash mob dance situation happen in the street, which I thought was cute. Um, so yeah, everything was put together. In a way, I'm glad that I didn't go out to Times Square because I'm like, mm-mm. The first one was too many damn people. Y'all already know how I feel about crowds. I'm already gonna be having an anxiety attack when I have to work this Knicks game tomorrow and have to try to navigate my way through all those damn people in the street because I already saw the videos and stuff of yesterday's game. Which shout out to the Knicks, they won. First game against the Spurs. I think it was 105 to 95. But anyway, so and then I saw videos of people like you couldn't get through to get to 7th Avenue. So I'm not ready to deal with being annoyed by a lot of fucking annoying ass people in the streets. So can you imagine like if I had to go to Times Square and I had to deal with a bunch of homosexuals who are always in their damn phone, always like this, was like blinders on. They don't give a fuck about nothing else going on around them. Their surroundings, whatever the case is. And I'm gonna be more frustrated with them and me trying to enjoy the performance because we got a lot of self-centered vamping homos out here in these streets that's gonna work my root canal nerve, and I'm gonna be more irritated. So I'm just like, you know what? I'll just stay at home. I'll watch it. And then tomorrow she's gonna be at the Tribeca Film Festival premiering the new video, the 10-minute video with the first 6 tracks from the album. I wish I could go. They did release some tickets for it. And I was like, I was about to buy it. Then I was like, fuck. I just remember it was gonna be at Beacon Theater. Then I remembered I have to work tomorrow. And I know some people are like, you can call out, child. This is gonna be a historical moment with the Knicks and stuff. I'm not giving that up. So, um, and I know this is a once in a lifetime thing with Madonna too, but we've had many albums and many moments with Madonna. So I will cherish those and I'll just get the lowdown from everybody else who was there and all that or whatever what the media is gonna say, and I will talk about it on on the next episode of the show. So I say all this to say I'm really excited and I'm looking forward to this new era. I'm liking a lot of the songs from the album so far. I was a little worried because I was like, when I heard that snippet of Love Sensation, I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna like it. And then I actually heard the song in full. Um, who sent? I think Felix sent me the link from Spotify, so I listened to it there, and so it sounds good. So I'm looking forward to what Madonna's going to be giving us in the next couple of weeks when we get the full album. We'll talk about it when we get to that point of our overall thoughts. We'll do like a whole little episode regarding the Madonna album situation. So yeah, I want to hear from y'all. What do you guys think of this story? Did you watch the performance? What did you think of the performance? Did you enjoy it? Did you hate it? Do you want grandma to hang it up? Because that's what some of you haters like to say. So, and that's me just being condescending and repeating what y'all say. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Love Sensation 6 perfect segues perfectly to get together, and she did not. And what you said, and she did just that. I fucking screamed. Yeah, because I was wondering if she was actually going to sing some of the new stuff. Downside of not using social media is not knowing about these type of things. I was listening to the True Blue album when I saw that she released Love Sensation, and then I saw a YouTube live stream. Yeah, and funny enough, I had, besides me being in this the Madonna group chat with a couple of people in here and others, um I had friends of mine, straight, like, my straight friends, my straight female friends, a bunch of people just like in my inbox, like, I know you love Madonna. She gonna be performing live, and I want to be like, I know already. Like, I don't like being that person with, I know already. With this other person, like, I don't like doing that shit. So I'm like, thank you. And then we move on. So yeah, I had a lot of people just letting me know that it was happening. It was of the New York performance. It's probably a good thing I didn't download Grinder to watch it, because that would summon all the guys I. Well, Chad, you didn't have to watch it on Grinder. You could have watched it on YouTube. That's where I watched it. I went over on YouTube and watched it on Grinder. Has a YouTube channel, so I just went on there and watched it, because I was like, I don't have Grinder either. That's how I was like wondering if how was I going to watch it. She was criticized. Oh, you said she looks good. I love this pastel pink ensemble. It was cute. It kind of was like a throwback to what she wore in like the first Confessions era, but she's wearing like, it's like lingerie or whatever. Oh, I think that's what you were meaning when you were talking about that. She's too old to wear lingerie. What people were saying, it is giving. Well, yeah. I mean, she did dabble in French house, but she did the last Confessions record. But her going with that more, it could be like French house, Chicago house, a lot of that vibe in there. Oh yeah, that's what we was talking about earlier. And she did the speaker between the legs. Oh yeah, that was funny. Then there was a point where she decided, well, that glass that keeps you from like that protection glass. She decides to put her leg. I said, "Oh, bitch, you better pull yourself back. What the hell you doing?" And now you're doing too much. But I understand she likes to get people riled up. 28 days. I got my YouTube music recap. Madonna was my top stream from March to May. I feel so friend bring your love with number one and two. Because you was running into the ground. Wait, I'm using the wrong damn thing. Hold on. Madonna would understand. She used to go to Knicks in the 90s. But like she said, she was a fan of basketball when it was the NFL era in the 90s instead of just being a local sport. Oh yeah, I know I figured he was there because I think he posted something or another on his social media. Do you think the album will hold up to Confessions on the Dance Floor? One, I'm not sure, but for sure it will be her best album in the past decade. I don't know. It's too early to determine. We've only heard a couple of songs. So I need to experience the album. I need to go on the journey and experience the album in full before, dare I say it, make the comparisons. Because I don't want to try to compare it, but since we're talking about she called it Confessions too, we're gonna have no choice but to compare it. Is it a worthy sequel? So it's the only way to find out is I got to listen to the record. But I do love the first Confessions. He said I watched it on YouTube too. Did you? Anyway, let's get back into the show, y'all. And let's talk about Ted Danson. So I guess with all this, I'm wondering if the reason why this came up with him and the whole Friars Rose blackface thing that people on social media love to remind Whoopi Goldberg about, because I every now and again I do see people like to throw that in the comments when it comes to certain things about how her and the Ted Danson and the Friars roast and all that other stuff. And I remember and I wonder if this is all coming up again, ill-timed, because of the whole Kevin Hart debacle regarding some of the roasts and the racist stuff and things that's going around about that. And I remember, and I wish I would have thought about looking for that clip of The View when the ladies of The View were actually discussing the Kevin Hart. blackface, but not blackface, the Kevin Hart racial jokes with Tony Hinchcliffe and that whole thing. I wish I brought that because I remember Whoopi said while the other ladies was talking about it, I think when it came around to her, she basically was just like, I don't like the roast or whatever the case is. And I was like, well, sis, you did do one. And that's probably why. Because I think she has a problem with them being televised because comedians understand what the whole point of a roast is. It's like, yeah, when you roast somebody, you don't go low, you go through the fiery pits of hell. Like you really go in and let have. So I think that's where the whole situation is going around with that, where she has an issue, it leaves a nasty taste in her mouth because of what she had to experience back in the day, where it got out the pictures and everything of Ted Danson and blackface, and all of that, and then how he got called out for it, and then Whoopi has had to deal with it. But I do wonder because I hope that the View bring this clip up. They probably won't, but wishful thinking. I hope that they bring this up and then she speaks on it. So that would be a great thing to do for as a hot topic on the show. But anyway, so the 78-year-old actor made an appearance on the Who's With Me podcast with W. Kamau Bell, where he spoke about doing blackface during a roast of former partner Whoopi Goldberg at the New York Friars Club in 1993. And so I do have that clip, and I saved it from YouTube. So we're going to go over to the E2. Hopefully no ads and stuff play up in here. And we will come back and we will talk. Please.
Different types of checks. You know what I mean? There's the check that is like, here, use this to buy groceries. And there's
Didn't I tell you what's going to happen? Come on, ad.
Pay for the groceries because they're not working. So I will give them groceries for free. And I talked to him. Just I walked in off the street, talked to this guy, was told to talk to this guy. And so for me, it's like he set up a Venmo. People started sending him money so he could better do the job that he was doing, helping people directly. So there's also different types of checks. You know what I mean? There's the check.
Okay, hold on. This is annoying. So I don't know why it's all of a sudden doing this little video thing where it's rendering or whatever the case. Maybe it's because every now and again it'll do that. So I'll just have to read what he has to say because I ain't sitting there dealing with that shit. So he said, I need to want to apologize for the rest of my life because somebody today can go on the internet and go, what the fuck? Wow, I feel betrayed. I feel angry. And I did that, Ted reflected, noting that while their relationship was coming to an end, they had tried to get out of doing the roast together. So this was at the point where he and Whoopi's relationship were kind of like falling apart. And they didn't want to do the roast, according to him. The event sold, but they couldn't back out because the event sold so many tickets. So, as you know, in show business, the show must go on. So he said, so my brain was going, okay, here is one of the most outrageous, funny black women in the world, and I'm supposed to be. I was like, my damn printer's going. There's so much stuff going on right now. Anyway, so he says, so my brain was going, okay, here is one of the most outrageous, funny black women in the world, and I'm supposed to be roasting her, and I'm not a stand-up. He meant a stand-up comic. I can't run with the bulls. So I was like, God, what am I going to do? And then I thought, well, I could do performance theater. And I looked at all these tapes and it's like, well, if I were black, I would say all these outrageous things. I'm not. Then my mind went, I will do it in blackface and that will be funny or not, but it will be like, I have license now. I thought I could pull this off. Ted said of the decision. I'd like to know where he felt that he thought he could have license to get in blackface. Is it because you were dating a black woman and you thought that because you're in the in crowd that you could do that when there's such a deep rooted pain that comes with blackface, meaning that the reason why blackface was happening is because white people were fulfilling the roles. They didn't want black people to be on the screen. So they were getting these whole little looks of painting their faces up and doing this little jigaboo dance and all this other foolishness, basically making a mockery of black people. So did you not know the cultural significance of blackface? But I guess, when you white and you got blinders on and you ain't thinking, I guess this is the best y'all can come up with. So then within 20 seconds, I was like, I stuck my finger in a light socket. I thought I was doing a satire on mixed relationships and I thought I was being edgy. Your intentions do not matter. The impact you have on people is what matters. And if you haven't thought through that, then you need to. I thought I could run with the big boys and I couldn't. And it was stupid and it was not my place and it was wrong and it was hurtful. So I apologize again to anyone who's listening that I was arrogant enough to think that I had something to offer. Poor Whoopi Goldberg has had to defend me over the years, sweetly and gracefully. So the last thing she probably wants to do is be put in this position again. And then he also opened up about his health, revealing that he had a recent health scare that humbled him. So it seems like to me that maybe it's not. Maybe we don't need Whoopi to defend him because then you got to deal with this whole situation again. But it's like the thing that they say before: whenever you do something in life and you come out and apologize, years later, it's gonna resurface, it's gonna keep resurfacing, you're gonna have to keep apologizing. And people are like, look, I apologize for that already. Why do I have to keep apologizing? Because there's every time when you apologize, there's always gonna be that one person that did not see the video that you made 10 years ago of you apologizing. So now it's gonna resurface, they're gonna be talking about it. You gotta it gets brought up again, and then you gotta defend it. So, like he said, like he gonna be out here apologizing for the rest of his life. It seems like you're gonna be doing the same thing. So I say you live, you learn. I don't think Ted Danson's a racist. I just think that sometimes people try to placate into things that is just beyond their pay grade. It's like, yeah, he's not a comedian, he's an actor, and he thought he could just, like he said, run with the big boys, and he realized that he just bit off more than he can chew and had to face the consequences for it. So shout out to you, Ted. Shout out to you, Whoopi. And um I'm sure this probably will come up again, and he's like he's talking about it, she probably gonna have to end up defending it, whether she wants to or not. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story? I guess if you want to see the episode of Kamal talking about the whole situation, you could definitely check it out on his YouTube channel. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Okay, y'all. So now let's move on to our next topic and let's talk about Doja Cat. Doja Cat. So she took to Twitter to basically request that the platform's billionaire owner Elon reinstate the audio post feature, which I didn't even know was missing because I don't be fucking with Twitter like that. And it seems like she's not gonna get her way because she basically threw shade at him in the process, and called him a frog-billed looking bitch. Ooh, that's not a good looking man, but let's get into it. So Doja Cat took to social media to request that Elon Musk bring back Twitter's audio post feature, which was discontinued from the site last year. Her approach will likely not have the intended results, however, as the post contains several insults along with the plea. She said, "Hey Elon, if you see this, please put the audio post feature back on here. Thanks, you frog-built looking bitch, barrel-chested Ewok. You look like you eat sand." A few hours later, she added, "At Elon Musk C, put the audio post feature back on this app. Thanks, you hairless, no neck having chimpanzee. Face looked like it was drawn from memory." First of all, the face drawn from memory read feels like something straight out of Backrooms. If you know, you know. It's like the line where they talk about how to explain how what a dog is if you haven't seen the dog in your life, like you've never seen a dog. She said, "When you swim on your back at the beach, shit look like a man of war. Hourglass ankles. Not trying to be mean though. So, girl, come on now. Now, everything that you just said out your mouth was a read. You sit up here trying to talk about, I'm trying to be mean. Girl, you called him like every animal under the sun except Harriet, that Loch Ness monster from Harriet. Well, that monster from Harry and the Hendersons. What was his name? What's his name, Harry? So, or Sloth from the Goonies, because that's what he looked like. Now, Twitter used to have a feature that allowed users to post audio messages on their feed. Users can still send voice messages via DM. Musk purchased Twitter in October of 2022 and has ruined it ever since. and has made numerous changes to the popular social media site since. This isn't the first time Doja has taken aim at Musk online. In 2024, he posted a racist meme about diversity in a film that she replied, "Shut the fuck up, shut up. No one fucking cares. Shut the fuck up." Musk previously had a spat with Billie Eilish when she called him a pathetic pussy bitch coward. Why does that remind me of that dude from the challenge that would call people pussy chicken? Y'all know who I'm talking about if you watch the show. He thinks like he's hot shit because it came up with that line. Like it's literally his little tagline of pussy chicken. Anyway, so yeah, she called him up. Well, we don't need to go through it again now, but this was for hoarding wealth during a global crisis. Eilish singled Musk out after using her acceptance speech at the Wall Street Journal Innovator Awards to call out billionaires for hoarding their wealth when people need empathy and help more than kind of ever, especially in our country. Now, later on her Instagram stories, Eilish reposted a series of infographics from the activist movement My Voice, My Choice that shared ways for us to redistribute that massive high wealth. Well, at this point, look, Elon Musk is about moments away from becoming the world's first trillionaire. That man don't give a good goddamn about nobody but himself. Even his own trans daughter Vivian denounced him. And I just feel like recently, I think she did an interview somewhere and she walked off when they started mentioning her father. Because I think that they were giving her father a compliment and she was like, "Y'all mention anything about my father, I'm leaving. I don't deal with that man. He's a horrible person. He has contributed to a lot of the atrocities that has been happening in this country. The man is a full-blown racist, an apartheid apologist. So fuck him." And the Ewok he rode in on. So shout out to you, Doja, and whatever that stupid thing you want him to add back to the Twitter. Who still uses Twitter except racists? But anyway, I still have Twitter because I use it to bring clips up and stuff that I need to find in certain places. So I keep my platforms or whatever for business purposes. But other than that, I don't engage with people on these platforms. But anyway, I ask all of you, what do you guys think of this story regarding Doja Cat throwing shade at Elon Musk while asking him to bring back some stupid little audio feature on the app? So whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. I don't understand how anyone in their right mind would do blackface. Do people even second guess what they're doing? Apparently not. Well, you know what? At the end of the day, I think when, particularly with a lot of white folks, when it don't affect you, um, I guess not. Did you ever watch the drama starring Zendaya and FKA Twigs? Not FKA Twigs X. I watched a video yesterday about how Zendaya's character could have been inspired by Doja Cat being in racist chat rooms. No, I have not watched it yet. I know it is available to watch on Prime Video. Like I gotta rent it or whatever the case is. But no, I'm waiting for it to pop up on somewhere where I can just watch it without having to, because I don't want to keep spending a whole bunch of money on stuff. I gotta start saving because I went a little haywire this week on things. Oh yeah, so let's see. Somebody knew who I was talking about. He said Turbo. He was the one that said pussy chicken. He said, "I have a feeling Madonna was gonna do Get Together. Love Sensation blended just right with it. She'll probably do that on the tour." He sure is. His sperm needs to be evaporated. Okay. And I don't understand these women that spread their legs for that man. Ain't enough money in the world. And then you got one of his ex baby mamas going around doing a lot of political shows. I think she did. What show she do? She did Kyle Kalinski's show. I think she did. Who else did she? Because I remember it was like I've seen her on a couple of political podcasts where she was. I think she even did Jennifer Welch's show. HBO Max is getting dragged for using Kylie Jenner image over the Charlie XCX movie. Is that out yet? because I know that the moment was supposed to pop up on HBO Max. I need to get around to watching it. I don't know whether or not if it was out because I haven't been on HBO Max in a minute. Like in the past, meaning the past couple of days. But I would think it would be up by now. I gotta check. Okay, so all right, y'all. So now let's get back into the show. And let's talk about Belle Calise and Miss Latto reticket because Latto took her behind over there to the Breakfast Club and basically was talking about her beef with Cardi B, to which Cardi B did acknowledge the situation. So before we get to what Cardi had to say, um, because now apparently after what Latto said, Cardi does want to make it right with her, but I have the clip, courtesy of the Breakfast Club. So we're gonna play that clip, and I'm sure this one will work. Unlike that other video that we had, that it looked like it was taking y'all 10 years to get to the goddamn point. I wish I would have just watched that previous clip with Ted Danson, so that way I could have got it to the sweet spot. But I didn't, because I thought it was gonna be where it was gonna be at. This is why you got to do the research. But anyway, let's get into the clip. We'll come back and talk.
You've been very open with a lot of the growth in the moments too. Like you vlogging, we see you on stream.
Yeah.
The Ice Spice situation when y'all were in y'all moment, and then y'all literally were public about the reconciliation and all those things. Like I think people get a chance to grow with you and learn with you, and that's why we become like fans.
Yeah.
But why did y'all squash that one? Like, because that could have went on forever, but y'all decided to squash it and did it with record. I thought that was dope.
Why? I don't know. I'm like growing up. I'm just growing up, and I just be like, shit don't be that deep.
What was that conversation like?
This nigga just asked you, why did you decide?
Why?
Because
I mean, why did you decide to be mature?
No, I mean, I think that's dope. But she pulled up in the Bronx.
Because DJ Envy's a fucking idiot. I just still cannot believe he's a Virgo. Like, you can't be this damn dense. But anyway.
And it's not even just because people can squash stuff, but then y'all get together and do a song. Y'all do business together. I think it's different when you link your brand and your face for something too.
Yeah,
I think that was the most mature thing I had seen in a while. Like, oh, this is a real thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just wasn't that deep. So her manager had called my manager and was like, she trying to squash it, like she want to do music, and I was like, you know what? Actually, I am open to that. Open to that.
Okay. Mature Latto.
I love that. She said,
especially when it's something that was like for no reason. Anyways, like that shit was one of them times where I let like Twitter and like just like noise get in my head, and probably she could say the same. I can't speak for her, but I'm guessing that's the same for her, and we both was probably on some like, bitch, what we even beefing about again?
Like, we both successful.
Yeah,
we, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We don't rap about the same shit. We got two different genres, but we both rap girlies. Let's do that.
Yeah, and we got more in common than differences. So it's like, you know, whatever.
So are you not still going to accept the bag from Cardi?
Yeah.
And on that, you have a verse where you talk about, you know, you say, bitch said what, let's clock it. Really got a Hermes store in my closet. Talking about buying Big Mama a bag like a nigga ain't already bought it. Like my nigga ain't already coming off racks. Big bank, big facts. And we know that Cardi apologized publicly to you after she went on that rant against Ice Spice and mentioned you, and mentioned buying you a bag in private. And then this line came in. The fans were like, is she talking to Cardi? What's going on? Like everybody's trying to piece it together and figure that out.
Well, yes, yeah, it was about Cardi. Like we were saying earlier, like I rap about what's going on in my life at the moment. At the time, first of all, I made this album over 9 months. I made the album while I was pregnant, and I was at an early stage in my pregnancy, and I rushed to the studio to do this verse for her in time for the first week sales, whatever. And
for airtime.
Yeah, for the airtime remix. And literally like 2 days later, I'm all over the internet, I'm being called pussy. I'm pregnant, emotions high, like
hormonal.
You know, and it's someone I dead ass looked at as a friend. Like I understand this you know, industry shit first too, but we was on a texting basis. So I feel like, you tweeted to the world, but we got each other number.
Yeah.
You know?
So y'all never talked personally after that, around that?
So then like probably like 2 months later, something like that, she did text me, but by that time I'm like, that ain't even like, I'm not even thinking about that shit no more. You know what I'm saying? So
have y'all spoke since then?
Since the song has
I haven't spoke since the record came out.
But
Hold on. She talked too damn slow for me. So she said that. Now, here's what Cardi said, because I was like, girl, get to the point, and no wonder nobody likes your music. But anyway, so she said, I truly understand how you feel, and that's exactly why I chose to apologize publicly, because the disrespect became public. She began in her post. On that call, I didn't even mean to call you that. That was the PUSSY word. I didn't mean any harm. There's a difference in what I said versus what I meant. What I could have said was, you was too forgiving and gave too much mercy in that situation. Cardi also explained that she was stressed at the time of the leak, as she was expecting her fourth child, and first with Stefon Diggs, and Am I the Drama had just arrived. The WAP rapper was actually enraged at Ice Spice, but Latto ended up catching a stray. And then went on to say, but it was a heated conversation and I let my mouth get the best of me, which she is notorious for. When the call came out, I was 8 months pregnant, had just released my album, and was extremely overwhelmed and emotional. That's not to excuse what I said, but to let you know where I was in my head. I genuinely felt bad about what happened. In 2025 and 2026, I made multiple attempts to connect. Now, Cardi also claimed that she tried to reach out to Latto directly via text, which Latto confirmed in the interview, and spoke with her manager and sister about rectifying the situation to take full responsibility. However, she didn't appear to enjoy Latto addressing it on her new album. She said, I always had love and respect for you. I always want to make it right, but making it right looks different for the both of us. I wanted to connect with you, but you wanted to address it on your album. For context, well, we don't need to get into the whole context situation, but then they also said that she was on the Time remix for the Am I the Drama album last September. She said, I ain't no pussy ass Latto. She said at the time, I'm not Latto. I'm going to beat her the F up. So, look, at the end of the day, Cardi definitely feels like she genuinely is sorry for her part in the whole situation. Sometimes, unfortunately, yes, people catch a stray in the situation. There have been many a times where I will lash out at one bitch and a couple of others get hit with a bullet accidentally, and I'll own up to my stuff because I ain't got nothing to hide. But here's the thing. Cardi, you have a habit of, you love addressing everything on social media. That's your thing. And then you go off and I'm surprisingly, you have other things that you could talk about that's left over that you could put on the record. With all the stuff going on with Latto, I mean, quite as people ain't listening to Latto like that. So she needs the grist for the mill in order to have something to rap about. If y'all work it out, I think y'all should work it out. But here's the thing. I just don't get how I guess maybe she is all for trying to make amends with a mediocre ass rapper like Ice Spice, who look like, I ain't gonna go there because I'm about to, y'all gonna accuse me of being ableist, so I'm gonna just shut up. So, yeah, I mean, if they work it out, work it out. If y'all don't want to work it out, then go y'all separate ways. But to me, it's like Cardi, even though she has flaws, she's a work in progress. We all are, and I think that's why people like her, because she's relatable on a human level. She ain't out here trying to put on this little facade or whatever the case is. She'll let you know what's up. And she seems like, to me, based off of what I've seen, I don't know her personally. I've never hung out with her or whatever the case is. I did work her Am I the Drama tour, but as far as like personal stuff, I don't know her like that. But she definitely seems like a girl's girl. She always wants to collab with other rappers and things. And that's that. Now, if y'all ready to work it out, work it out. But I want to read some of these comments over here, what people said with what was it? The Breakfast Club. One person said the disrespect was public. The apology was public. Another person said, I really don't think Cardi meant any to hurt Latto. I hope they make up. Another person said, beefing with your friend, but reconciling with someone who said you couldn't rap is insane. Absolutely. So you will, and to me, I feel like maybe there's some truth to what Cardi said. You forgiving this bitch over here, but you're making it harder for me. Okay. Because Ice Spice said you couldn't rap. Quiet as it's kept, neither of you bitches can rap. So that one finger she pointing at Latto, them other four is pointing at her. So talking about if you the shit fart. What kind of fucking song is that? But anyway, so then another person said she apologized the same way she disrespected her publicly. Latto privately went in the booth and popped it. So when Cardi dissed her back, I don't want to hear Latto mouth. Another person said, Lauren gonna ask the questions we want to hear. Absolutely. They should know if you're gonna go in the lines, then I'm not handing you with no kid gloves. Another person said, I'm not Latto meant I don't let shit slide. I don't think Cardi meant it the way it was taken. People forget Cardi emotions were so high. Was she not pregnant as well or just had her baby? So another person, wait, hold on, because I was like, oh wait, another person said, kind of sounds like hypocrisy. You matured and accepted Ice Spice's apology after the disrespect, but not Cardi. Not to mention, she said she was hormonal when she did that record. So was Cardi. I don't think Cardi meant it in a bad way when she said, I'm not Latto. I'm not pussy. They put a cat up in there. So cat emoji. It was during a heated conversation. Anywho, be mad if you want to. Cardi doesn't care. She booked and busy. But it seemed like she was more hurt or whatever the case is. But yeah, you can't be out here forgiving people like Ice Spice that damn quick. But you're gonna make it hard for Cardi. You're gonna make Cardi literally jump through hoops that's lit on fire in order for you to forgive her. Send her that bad, Cardi. Maybe she'll forgive you then. But at that point, look, I always say I don't go where I'm not wanted, and I'm not kissing nobody's ass to get along with them. I put out the olive branch. I try to connect with you numerous times, and you still trying to play me or whatever the case is, or you still got me running around here, damn near having to jump through hoops just to be your friend. Fuck you, then. Like I'm not gonna sit up here and try to break my neck. But then again, some people look at that as well. Then you never really meant the apology. If I have to reconcile with you when you want me to reconcile with you. So like come do it in your own time. I put the olive branch out there. When you ready to come over here and forgive and move on and be sisters again, the door is open. I'll say it like that. See, look at me being mature. So I'll say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story? I just hope that these two work it out. If they don't, then whatever. Water under. I mean, she got her the product. She got her 4 kids she need to be dealing with, and you got your one. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. She was hanging out with Hassan Piker the day after he was subpoenaed. Who was Charlie XCX? Kylie, wait, who was hanging out with him? Latto is saying her postpartum depression is what caused her to say. Oh yeah, I saw that foolishness too. I was like, don't blame it on the postpartum depression because quiet as it's kept. Anyone gonna miss you if you leave. she should call. She should just call it what it was. A publicity stunt meant to garner attention to the album. Hello, because that's exactly what it is. When I look around at the female rap lineup in 2026, it's no wonder I started listening to country music. And Meg sitting up here trying to tease us with new music. I'm like, girl, pay it, because I don't care. Like I've given Meg so many damn chances. I see the idea. First of all, I think the idea of Meg Thee Stallion is better than the execution because her songs just don't be doing it for me. But I like the aesthetic, I like the appeal, I like all the work they put into it. But the finished product, it just be a chop for me. So you said Nicki, Meg, Cardi, and Doja always posted online, but never posted themselves in the studio. Okay. Sexy Red is the only new female rapper that I listen to, and even she's getting repetitive. Well, there's nothing evolutionary. There's no. I was gonna say evolutionary. Well, we're just gonna have to go with it. There's nothing evolutionary about Sexy Red. It just be the same shit she be rapping about. There's no growth. There's no gonna be no growth with her. I wouldn't. I would be surprised if her career lasted 2030. Latto was nearly a decade in the game with no original style. Ice Spice is getting dog smacked. Not Pluto is a child. And Nikki ain't a girl's girl. Well, when I said what I said in regards to Cardi being a girl's girl, Monika's name did pop in my head. I was just trying to be nice and not throw that little stray up in the situation because I've been y'all can't say nothing without always having Nicki name in your mouth. Well, the bitch ain't a fucking girl's girl, and so as Shadow's girl said, she's not. She collabs with other female rappers and ends up burning bridges with them, or it's that she expects when you get in favor, like if I'm going to rap or do something with you, I'm doing you a favor. I'm helping you. So it never feels genuine why she's really doing it. Like I really genuinely want to collaborate with her. It seems like whenever Nicki gets with other female rappers, there's an ulterior motive because we see how a lot of those women would act when it would become this Nicki versus Cardi situation. It always felt like out of loyalty, I'm gonna stick with her. And, or if other rappers, you saw it, like when the other female rappers did collaborate with Nicki and then with Cardi, there was a problem. I forget which rapper that was that did that, and it was a whole. Wasn't it Meg that did that? It was a whole situation. It's like, oh, I can't work with this person because you don't like this chick over here. They ain't got shit to do with me. He said, my Stan Twitter days still haunts me. I've been suspended off the app for 3 years, but all the crap I would say about Cardi and Meg still lingers over me when I listen to them. Well, look, it comes with a part of growth, and you got to just work through that and forgive yourself. You know, Madonna has a song called "Forgive Yourself" on the new album. It might be called something else, but yeah, might have a different title. But she did say she's putting a song called "Forgive Yourself" on the new album. So forgive yourself. I used to be Megan's biggest fan when she first came out with Big Old Freak. I do like that song though. And Fever, I just picked a side when it was the wrong side. And it was the wrong side. Look, I try not to pick sides when it comes to artists because I'm a fan of music and artists and artistry and all other stuff. So I try not to get in that. Well, you team this, I hate when they do that on RuPaul's Drag Race. Oh, you hashtag team this one, and I'm like, shut up with all that stupid. I mean, I have fun with it, but it's stupid. All right, y'all. Speaking of stupid, no, let me stop. Let's talk about Post Malone. So Post Malone, I guess, is out here performing wherever. Did say at one point that he wasn't touring because he didn't finish his album, whatever the case was. Probably because it was low ticket sales. But it might have been the one with Jelly Roll. I don't know what show this concert or whatever it is that it was. But apparently there was, oh damn, I should have opened it up on, hold on. It was on TikTok. It. Yeah, this is it. Okay, so I'm gonna probably try to mute it. I don't think there's any sound. So, okay, I got the clip. So now there's a clip of Post Malone going around, and they basically is sparking widespread concern. They said that troubling footage of the chart-topping singer, real name Austin Richard Post, has gone viral, showing him noticeably struggling mid-song and slumping to the ground to light a cigarette. Now, after the moment, the Circle's hit maker, who's Post Malone is 30. Why does he look like he damn near in his mid-40s? That's a hard 30. But anyway, so they said the hitmaker, who's 30, gets back on his feet, walking to the edge of the stage and spending a few seconds blankly looking out to the crowd before spitting in the air. The bizarre behavior left many fans worried, with some even likening the appearance to late singer Amy Winehouse. They try to make him go to rehab, but he said no, no, no. Anyway, we have a clip. Hold on. We're going to stop. Hold on. That is not it. It is not the clip. We got it. Hold on. Please hold. Yeah, he ain't got no shoes on, by the way. He got some long ass toes. Look at those. So yeah, if you didn't live in the cigarette smoke. do wonder with all this, what he's doing, like, is this part of when does he get out? Whatever. I'm doing like, what are you walking about?
I've been fucking yours and popping pillies.
I do wonder, what does he smell like? So anyway, I'll let it play while we go through the whole situation. So, and one person said, reminded me of Amy Winehouse on her worst day. Here was Post Malone lying on the ground, lighting a cigarette. Dr. Jebra Fauché shared on Twitter, along with a clip of his appearance. Then he walks around like a 90-year-old man. I'm screaming. Then he walks around like a 90-year-old man who lost his shoes and needs a chiropractic adjustment. Should we be worried? Plenty agreed. Yes, we should be. Now, while the singer is somewhat known for his quirky antics on stage, his behavior this time was a little more concerning. One person said, "Bro needs help. The proof game and money isn't everything and doesn't bring happiness. He doesn't seem happy to me," one person commented. "He's looking pretty rough these days." Yeah, he definitely looks rough because I'm like looking at him like, your hair looks disheveled. You need to cut that beard. I can only imagine what that microphone smells like once they take it back from you at the end of the damn show. And then another person say he looks awful. Maybe this is the reason that he canceled his performance. Says, I hope he can get some help. He does have a song called "I Need Some Help," right? I hope he can get some help. Another chimed in. Now, last month, the singer postponed the first 3 weeks of his big ass stadium tour, which features fellow country crooner Jelly Roll. The tour was originally slated to begin on May 13th, but was pushed back to begin on June 9th in Charlotte, North Carolina. Now, in an Instagram story, he explained that he promised fans new music, but simply didn't have the time to finish his upcoming double album, The Eternal Buzz, before hitting the road. He said, "We ain't ready for tour." I mean, look, for quiet as it's kept, you could do like what all these other artists do. Why don't you tour? Have a RV or whatever that is actually set up as a studio and record the album while you're on the road. You know how many artists over the decades have recorded albums while they're touring to finish it up? If that's the case, if you couldn't finish what you're doing, hire the best writers, hire the best producers, and have them come up with some stuff. I mean, that's what Beyonce would do. Like she would have people into, because I watched this Brian Tedder interview that he just did, and he was like when he was recording and making music, they had Sia and another producer, whatever, in one room. Ryan Tedder was in another room, and there was all these different rooms, and she came up with a mood board of the visuals. I think it might have been for the Beyonce album. What album was Drunk in Love on? It was that one. Or, yeah, it was that album. So, I think it's a Beyonce record. Anyway, because I'm getting all, disheveled. And so have a little mood board, let people know like this is the vibe, this is the energy of the record, and this is where I want the writers to come up with stuff and we all collaborate and get that record out. Because if you're gonna put all this pressure on yourself, you stressed out. And I totally understand like how crazy demanding this business is. But you seem like you bit off more than you could chew. It seems like the dark side of the industry is getting to you. There's no way that you just not having no issues and you just regular schmegula and you out here looking like this. But then again, as I've mentioned, I did work his show last year. I think it might have been last year or the year before. I can't remember. But his last show that he did at Citi Field, they were doing stadium, so it was him and Jelly Roll. I think it was last year. And people were kind of disappointed with the performance and stuff, because Jelly Roll spent more time running his damn mouth and talking about the Lord and all this shit than performing. So the security was making me laugh. And they was like, "Would you just shut the fuck up and start singing?" And then you got him up there thanking people every night and taking forever to get to the point and doing the music. It was too many breaks in between. And he did spend a lot of time during this show running around with a red cup, with them little red cups, and they be having all kinds of stuff up in there. The rappers be having a lean and all that other mess up in there. Who knows what he had in his? But I do remember that the entire show, he walked around with that solo red cup and a cigarette, and was performing with it. So I should say this: it's been Post Malone's career is he's been famous for about 11 years. Because his career started in 2015 when he casually uploaded the track White Iverson to SoundCloud. The song's viral explosion landed him a major label deal and kicked off his music career, where he blends the sounds of hip hop and country. His hit track Sunflower, recorded for the 2018 flick Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, went 17 times platinum. I didn't even know that. And he has collaborated with huge musicians such as Taylor Swift and Beyonce on Fortnite and Levi's jeans, respectively. Now, when discussing the intense security and secrecy required to work with the big guns in music, the singer expressed relief that he isn't quite at their level of inescapable fame. He says, "I can't even imagine being at their level. It must suck. That's so much pressure." So maybe he's feeling that pressure that he didn't think that he would have to deal with. So maybe that's where all that is coming from, and he can't handle it. But funny enough, one person in the comments on this video that I'm referencing, one person said you could see the same show at a Walmart in Pasco County. I don't know what Pasco County is, but the performance is definitely given Walmart. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story? Do y'all think that Post Malone got a little rhymes with hugs problem based off of the footage that we just saw? So whatever your thoughts are on this messy topic, let me know in the comments down below. I remember there was a similar video going around of him dozing off on stage right before COVID hit. He's always kind of been like this with his fans, and his fans quietly accepted it. Absolutely. But I do feel like, if people got a Roswell Hugs problem, you should address it. I mean, it's a genuine concern. Hopefully, yeah, and I noticed this too. He definitely lost a significant amount of weight because he was a chunky monkey once upon a time, and now he just like slimmed down. It looked like he's so damn skinny, his cheeks done sunk in, his ass cheeks, because he had no ass and he was hunched over. He literally looked like, I don't know. He looked like one. I was gonna say he probably reminded me he looks like one of them little creatures that be like doing what like it was giving me that very hunched over, hair falling out, something out of the lab of Umbrella Corporation. I have a feeling, he might be. He looks like he hasn't washed his ass in several months. Where are his assistants? Look what happened to Demi Lovato when she OD'd. He needs help. Well, they don't care. 9 times out of 10, these people do not care. They're just gonna go along to get along, because as long as they're getting paid. I'm not thinking about, well, you want to keep that person alive, because if they die, then you got to find a new job. But then again, you could only do but so much before they be like, mind your business, and then end up firing you. So I guess, caught between a rock and a hard place. All right, y'all. So now let's get into our next topic, and let's talk about Kim Zolciak, who is spilling more tea about her estranged husband, Kroy Biermann, because she don't want him to have that full custody. So she's coming out with new allegations against the man. So she's making disturbing claims about the behavior, of her estranged husband towards the 4 kids. She has Kroy Jr., who's 15, Cash, who's 13, and twins Kaya and Kane, who are 12. So Real Housewives of Atlanta alum Kim Zolciak is accusing her estranged husband, Kroy Biermann, of not feeding their children and abusing one of the sons in a bombshell new filing. The TV personality alleged her and the retired NFL star's children constantly contact her when they are visiting the latter to request food when they are hungry and medicine when sick, according to documents obtained by TMZ. Additionally, she claimed Biermann threw their unnamed son over the couch during a heated argument at his home. According to Zolciak, was 48, the court-appointed guardian dismissed the alleged abuse, stating that the child was big for his age. I know this motherfucking guardian didn't say that. They was like, "Oh, he too big. He big for his age. That's not gonna hurt him." And I'm sitting there like, it don't matter the size. You don't throw a child over a damn couch. And with him being a former a former football player, y'all think Kroy got that CTE? You think he need to get his brain checked? And yeah, she said that, like I just said, her son's size don't matter. It don't matter if he's big for his age. You don't throw a child over the couch. What the fuck is wrong with you? I mean, quiet as it's kept. Here's a question I want to know. Is he fucking the guardian for her to be coming up with this conclusion? So Zolciak also alleged that the former athlete, who's 40, has been sleeping with several women over the past few months, saying one has been around their kids and even vacation with them. Per the reality star, their children have reported not seeing Biermann for hours on end, but hearing him engage in sexual acts with his girlfriend of the moment. Zolciak claimed that two of her and Biermann's children have communicated their desires regarding their living situations, but have been disregarded. The Guardian has also allegedly been made aware of the emotional and physical abuse of the children, but the TV personality claimed that no professionals have sounded the alarm because the abuse did not leave marks. Jesus Christ! So, what is the kid's neck got to be broken for y'all to do your jobs? And I don't want to hear shit about social workers, whatever. Y'all are stretched thin. If the calls coming from inside the house and people are sounding alarm that the kids are being abused, shouldn't you look into that? Any other time? Well, then again, there were many a times where Kim wasted no time and Kroy calling the cops every 5 minutes to the house because them two was going through whatever petty shit that they was going through. So, but here's the thing. It's not just, they said it's physical and emotional abuse. So if he's being emotionally abusive to them and denying them food, or probably being verbally abusive as well, saying real harsh, disgusting things to the kids, that leaves a scar too. Yes, they're not visible scars, but they leave scars. So all of that should be taken into account. Zose also insisted that the Guardian allegedly sides with Biermann. Well, clearly she does. She also cited, or they do. I don't know what did they say what gender the Guardian is? No, they didn't. So I'm making an assumption. She also cited a text message that one of her friends allegedly sent to her boyfriend Karamo that stated, "I believe Kim. He is abusive, and his abuse is unlike any I've ever witnessed." A rep for the exes wasn't available for comment. Now, with all of this going around, because we already said before, I think the last time we talked about Kim, she had lost custody of the kids. She has, well, temporarily, I should say, lost custody of the kids. And and I guess he was able to get custody of them for now because he accused her of neglect. So whatever she did to cause the neglect for him to get custody of the kids while she basically don't have any for now, get that in order if your kids are going through what they're going through. And if there is proof of your children being abused and you say that they text you, use those text messages in your court case so that way you have leverage over Kroy. If this is true, because we know y'all both have a flair for the dramatic, Kim more so than Kroy. So while I'm feeling bad for the kids and everything, I'm side-eyeing to both of y'all because y'all both are no damn angels. Especially with the way y'all was carrying yourselves in the world of reality TV. With that tight ass Don't Be Tardy that nobody I know watched. And when y'all came back for the Housewives and that little racist little soiree situation y'all had in the what was it, dressing room, bathroom, whatever. And when they was calling you out on saying Nene had roaches and all the other stuff, the racial microaggressions and all of that, that still got me side-eyeing you, sis. So while I feel for you in this situation, I'm kind of side-eyeing the other stuff. But they did say that she was granted limited time with her kids every other weekend, and Biermann was declared to be the decision maker for non-emergency medical education and religious matters. So I should say that Kim's lawyer slammed the allegations as unwarranted, telling the outlet, "We will address these claims in a proper legal forum and will vigorously defend the truth in court rather than through public discourse." And Zolciak, however, was previously stripped of custody in April in order to complete therapy and all that other stuff. So, girl, finish up your therapy, do what you got to do. And if you're really all about protecting your kids from this man you are deeming a madman and a monster, then do all what you need to do to get your kids back. And when it's time to go and run everything through the proper legal channels, if you got the evidence with the text message, whatever the case is, present all that. And maybe the judge, since the guardian's not doing it, maybe the judge will side with you. But make sure you got all your I's dotted and your T's crossed. Just a thought. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story regarding Kim and messy situation? I think she's still married to that man. Like, girl, when are y'all getting divorced? So yeah, and look, you thought you was hot shit with the man that you had, and he showed you. Cause now it seemed like you in one of the worst relationships, and you literally in hell because you decided to have 4 children with him, and now look at you. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. All right, y'all. So now we are down to our final 4 topics. So before we get to our final 4 topics of the evening, if you could please do me a solid, if you haven't already, hit that like button, smash the notification bell, hype the channel, subscribe, do all the things that will help push on this messy show. Actually, I had somebody that was asking me. They said I was doing all the things and regarding what I had to do with my show. So I'm like, I gotta look in it and see if it's like a real legit situation. Damn, I had a lot of messages because it was where did it go? I got a lot of emails that I need to delete. There was a guy because I saw his article. What was it? Make Money Matt. I don't know if it's spam or whatever, but he put like you're actually doing something most New Yorkers, new YouTubers get wrong. This is why you're growing. And so I saw your comment on the video. Don't tell anyone about your YouTube channel. And I had to reach out. What stood out to me is how you handle your situation with your family. Oh yeah, because I said that a lot of times I don't even tell my family. My parents and everybody knows, and my sister and them. They know I do like I do this show, whatever. But I don't really seek out to let people know what I do because I always feel like I got haters, or there's people that really don't genuinely feel, you know, that wish you well in what you're doing. So I just keep it to myself. And I'm like, if you come across it, you come across it. But I don't advertise to people that I'm close with. But anyways, he says, what stood out to me is how you handle your situation with your family. A lot of creators struggle when early viewers don't engage, but you've taken a very healthy approach. No emotional attachment, just focus on the people who actually resonate with your content. And honestly, that's exactly what most creators don't learn much until later. Which is true, because I do feel like I don't get all flustered about, well, I don't have 20,000 people watching me. I was getting that when I was getting a lot of the numbers when we were doing it the other way with the where you could just watch on the phone. I think they stopped doing that. I think it was specifically a stream. Why is my nose itching so much? A StreamYard thing, but then it's like all of a sudden they stopped it, so I only do it one way again. But yeah, I don't get emotionally attached. I'm just like, I just keep going and I just focus on those of you who watch what I'm doing because I feel like you guys are enough. If we blow up, I mean, not if, when we blow up and more people want to come in, y'all can come in. But I focus on what I need to do, and that's that. So he said, hitting 3,000 plus organic subscribers while shifting your attention to live stream and shorts viewers who actually care is a strong signal that you're building real audience awareness, not just chasing numbers. That mindset is usually what separates channels that stall from channels that quietly scale. I do want to ask you something directly because this is where most creators hit a ceiling. And I do, and you want to know something funny enough? This probably came at the right time because I do feel like I've kind of hit a ceiling with everything because I'm still stalling at the same amount of numbers. But like now I'm at 3.88 thousand subscribers. So I'm almost at 4,000. which is a feat of, and this is natural, organic subscribers, not bots and all that other mess. So they said, what has been your biggest struggle lately on YouTube, even with your growth so far? It could be getting consistent views on uploads, turning short views into long form subscribers, improving retention, or even just knowing what to post next. So yeah, I don't know if it's like, that's why I was like, when I read this, I was like, is this really legit of a thing? Because, there'd be so many scams and spams and stuff on there. But it made me, regardless of the fact, it did make me think about, what is it about my channel that I just feels like, what has been my biggest struggle? And I was like thinking about it, because I was like, I don't know what it really is. Maybe it's the fact that, like, yeah, I don't have a lot of eyes on the channel. Like, I get a certain amount. It doesn't really blow it, but the shorts always ends up like, I always have consistency with the same amount of people that watch the live, even like the replay. Like, I get a good significant amount of numbers. But when it depends on the subject. And when I'm talking about, I notice the homosexual stuff that usually blows up, or I don't know if it's like YouTube playing with the algorithm or whatever it is. So I just think that a lot of times I have to figure out what that is, why it takes forever to even, get more subscribers and all the other stuff. Because with more subscribers come more coins. That's why I be thinking about all that. But anyway, enough of my woes. Let's get back into the hot topics. And let's talk about Shia LaBeouf, who basically pled guilty on Wednesday to 3 counts of simple battery. And basically, out of the whole thing, he got probation. So I guess happy pride, right? Because the breeder, who's afraid of big burly homosexual men, that's what he said, literally just got away with, I mean, it wasn't murder, but he got away with murder. So the 39-year-old will avoid any jail time. Instead, he will serve 2 years of probation for the misdemeanor offenses. In a statement provided by Rolling Stone, his attorney, Sarah Chervinsky, described the incident as nothing more than a minor Mardi Gras bar tussle. LaBeouf came to court wanting to take accountability for his part in what happened, and he has done so. This is what Chervinsky added. Now he's looking forward to focusing on family, work, and new creative projects. People fucking with him still, even though he's a big old drunk. Over Mardi Gras weekend in February, for those who need a memory refresher, several videos posted to social media showed a seemingly intoxicated LaBeouf partying on Bourbon Street. He was arrested during one of the nights out, reportedly causing a disturbance and becoming increasingly aggressive while outside a bar near the French Quarter. A shirtless LaBeouf struck 2 people during a scuffle, allegedly shouting homophobic slurs at the people he was fighting with. He was seen on video shoving someone to the pavement and whacking a man in the face, causing his nose to possibly dislocate. Prior to his sentencing, LaBeouf was ordered to seek treatment and submit to weekly drug testing following the rowdy incident. His erratic behavior has already sparked concern on the set of his upcoming movie, The Rooster Prince. Production sources previously told Rolling Stone he was completely wild, said one production member who worked on the Oklahoma film set last November. I don't think he's stable. I don't know that he's been stable for a while. Now, LaBeouf is scheduled to star in another film, God of the Rodeo, backed in part by producer Giannina Faccio Scott and her husband, director Ridley Scott. Wife is doing they said it's backed in part, which is expected to film in the area this month and July, according to the Oklahoma Film and Music Office. Now, LaBeouf has been previously vocal about his purported sobriety, disclosing in 2020 that he is in therapy and a 12-step program after, FKA Twigs. Speaking of another one of her exes, because we did talk about one of her exes, Robert Pattinson earlier. But yeah, she accused him of mental, emotional, physical abuse. And he basically said that people like Sean Penn, who they would deem problematic, as well as Mel Gibson, saved his life. But they ain't do a good enough damn job, because the way you was out here acting, being a nuisance in Nolans, people would beg to differ. So I wonder what's going to happen with the other people. So why you getting probation? That man knows you broke. He probably had to pay money because I don't know if his insurance covered it. If he has insurance, because they taking away with this regime, they taking away everybody's insurance these days. So what he had to endure and deal with and all that other stuff and the emotional distress and everything. I guess what this man may have to do is, I mean, if he has it in him, since LaBeouf got nothing but probation, sue him. See how that turns out for you. So I guess good luck to you, Shia, because you definitely need it. You got away with you got away with it. Your privilege got you, probation for 2 years. Now let's see if you can stay on the straight and narrow in that meantime. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story? Whatever your thoughts are on this matter regarding Shia LaBeouf, let me know in the comments down below. Okay, so now let's get into some homosexual pride news, because I guess now you have a reason to be prideful. Because Kathy Hilton pulled out of WeHo Pride. So there was some controversy that was going around stating Kathy Hilton was going to be doing WeHo Pride. When I heard about this, I was like, for why? But then I remember hearing there was stories about, of course, these vapid ass gays in West Hollywood, of all people, because y'all want that close proximity to the goddamn housewives, and quiet as it's kept. Or maybe it's not as quiet, because if you ever been to LA, West Hollywood and Beverly Hills is literally next door to each other. So, and then there's Century City, all the other stuff. So all of that is coming near each other. Because when I lived in Silver Lake, I would take the bus from Silver Lake through West Hollywood, and I used to work at Century City in the mall, and it drops you off right over there, and you go through Beverly Hills to get there. So they're literally neighbors. So she came out and said that she was going to be a grand marshal. And I was like, why is this happening? Who authorized this? And I guess with all the backlash and everything that was going on, they decided I guess she decided to pull out, because some people was like, how much money did she give the WeHo Pride Festival people in order to put herself in that situation? Because these days, the way the Bezoses bought themselves into the Met Gala, people just buy themselves into everything these days, and it seems like times is hard. So y'all just be having y'all hands out like y'all Oliver trying to get porridge or extra porridge. So, and then of course, I think a lot of people hark back to the fact that they believe that Kathy is MAGA. Also, let's not forget that the Hilton Hotel has been accused of housing ICE agents, where they've allegedly raped a lot of the people that they rounded up and all this other stuff. So they've been accused of, the Hilton Hotel has been accused of aiding and abetting ICE agents. So, and also, like I said, her proximity to being a Trump supporter, allegedly. And the fact, remember, when she was on, I think the first season she did The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, gay ally Erica Jane accused Kathy, when they were out in Aspen, of using racial and homophobic slurs to I think it might have been a DJ or something or another at the club, and she called it out. So all of this buildup may have partaken into the fact that nobody wanted Kathy Hilton there. I'll get my all thoughts about it after I go through the article. So let's go through it. Shout out to Out for this story, by the way. So after the withdrawal of at least one group of marchers, because the Indigenous Pride, I forget what their whole name is. It's in the article. An Indigenous queer group pulled out this morning. That's when I heard about the whole situation, because I posted on my social media. So now, after withdrawal of at least one group of marchers and a frenzy of complaints, there will be no Grand Marshal icon at the 2026 WeHo Pride Parade, say the event organizers, West Hollywood leaders, and former honoree Kathy Hilton. Now, with that being said, before we get to the rest of the article, what has Kathy Hilton actually done to be considered a WeHo Pride Parade icon or a Grand Marshal icon? We just giving out just titles for the sake of giving out titles. Like, what has she contributed to the queer community for her to be seen as an ally? That's another thing that pissed me off with you rhymes with maggots. Y'all just be giving out shit like it's candy. And y'all just do things a little too loosely. Because I'm like, what has she contributed to the community that warrants her to even be chosen as a grand marshal, let alone be seen as an icon to the gays? Is it because y'all want Paris to show up? If that was the case, try to get Paris to show up. And don't even get me started on that whole gay for pay bullshit that Kyle was trying to string us along with, acting like she was hunching Morgan Wade. She probably was, but still ain't come to the terms of whether or not she was out here licking him on the coochie cooch. So now Hilton, the socialite heiress turned Real Housewives reality star and mother of Paris and Nikki Hilton, sidestepped controversy over her selection in her part of the statement issued jointly by city and parade officials, saying, quote, "I'm honored to have been considered for this recognition and appreciative of the support I have received from members of the community throughout the years. My reason for wanting to be involved in this year's We Hope Pride weekend was simple: to celebrate, support, and share in the joy of a community that means a great deal to so many people." Now, officials quoted by WeHo Times said community members had shared through thoughtful feedback as outreported last week. That feedback included unsubstantiated accusations that Hilton voted for President Donald Trump and is at the very least a supporter of Trump, and that she reportedly used the F slur in front of her former Real Housewives of Beverly Hills co-star, Erica Jane. Mm-hmm. Wait, hold on. Let me pull up the We Hope Pride situation so that way y'all can see that. Okay, so I'll leave that there. Now, Hilton has denied the allegation, but Jane claimed Hilton used a homophobic slur during a cast trip to Aspen. She later vowed she will never back down from the truth of what happened that night at the club in Aspen. On Wednesday, Indigenous Pride, okay, so I was right. Indigenous Pride LA posted on Instagram that it canceled its participation in the June 7th parade. I always forget, We Hope Pride is always around the same time as Queen's Pride, because Queen's Pride is this weekend too, stating Hilton was the wrong choice to represent Pride. Many within, quote, many within our two-spirit, indigiqueer, and indigenous LGBTQP AI plus. I'm like, what is the? Oh, wait, hold on. So we got LGBT. Q is questioning. P, what is that? Pan. And I'm trying to. What is A? You know, so many goddamn acronyms up in here. Child, I can't even keep up. Can you keep up? Hell no. Anyway, so this said an indigenous LGBT LMNOP circles feel this year's Grand Marshal choice does not align with the values, lived experiences, and spirit of pride we seek to uplift, the group wrote in its Instagram statement. And so here's the thing. When I think about that as well, what I don't understand is that, and then they said, so have they chosen someone who will replace Kathy Hilton? Oh, they haven't. Which I find relatively hilarious because I'm like, I love our allies. Trust me, I love the fact that we have people who actually genuinely give a fuck about the community and love the gay community and all that other stuff. However, can we start to uplift people within our own communities and make them icons and make them grand marshals? Why are y'all always looking to these straight women to be like this beacon of hope and light for the gays to look up to? Gays should be looking up to people within our community. We should be uplifting people within our community instead of looking to straight people who are just, oh, I'm a bystander. I'm a window shopper. I'm just cruising in the vehicle seeing the bevy of gays as I drive on by. Like, that's what it's giving. Because that's what it's going to be. She's going to be in that damn float, waving in her weird regalia that she usually wears. And that's that. So we need to start uplifting people in our community. I'm sick and tired of these people up top and that run these things that it just seems like it's a sense of self-hatred, or y'all just want to be in such close proximity to straightness or whatever it is, or the housewives. Maybe that's what it is too. Instead of being like, you know what, this is a celebration for queer people. This is And this is a time more than ever that we need to be resilient and out here and celebrating who we are, especially under this crazy ass regime full of quiet as it's kept closet cases. Because you can't tell me how the people up in the GOP ain't hunching men on the low. But nevertheless, this is a time for us to be even more resilient because last time I checked, the first Pride was a riot. It was like we was tired of being put. Our gay ancestors, our gay forefathers, were tired of being pushed up against the wall. Yes, nobody was killed, Derek Barry, but but it was a riot. It was literally about us rising up and being resilient because we got tired. You know, our ancestors got tired of getting locked up for wanting to dance with someone of the same gender in a bar or whatever, or the fact that we were being persecuted for being homosexual or trans or wanting to dress and drag and do the hula. So other social media comments criticizing Hilton's selection included no Republicans at Pride and she is MAGA, out homosexual influencer and podcaster, a name I ain't heard in a month of Sundays, Tyler Oakley, joined the pile on in a tweet to his 4.2 million followers on Twitter and said, "Great choice for trailblazer icons. I'm curious why Kathy Hilton was chosen, considering the last I heard about her, she was attending Trump's parties and calling a DJ faggot." Told you. I said it was a DJ. So, and then of course they said WeHo officials played the Michelle Obama "We Go High" card amid all the criticism, saying the city of West Hollywood has always believed that pride belongs to the community. Well, clearly you didn't. That's why you chose who you chose. It's part of the joint statement. Well, it's part of the joint statement said. Now, since its earliest days, pride has served as both a celebration and a platform for activism, visibility, resilience, and the ongoing pursuit of equality, dignity, and justice for LGBTQ plus people. The organizers also thank residents and advocates for what they call respectful dialogue about the future of the event, saying these conversations reflect the passion people have for WeHo Pride and underscore the importance of ensuring that WeHo Pride continues to honor the history, values, and diverse voices of the LGBTQ plus community. Hilton also addressed her longstanding role as an ally and briefly addressed the social media dialogue, calling it thoughtful. Well, girl, I need to know what your long-standing role as an ally equates. And I'm not saying that you got a bunch of gays working for you and getting your shit. That's a slave that you just paying a good coin for. But I didn't know what kind of real queer allyship. What have you contributed to the community to be considered an ally? And I'm not saying having some gays do your hair and makeup, or as I said before, or picking out your clothes or being your assistant. She said, "I respect the thoughtful conversations that have taken place and remain deeply committed to supporting LGBTQ plus causes and visibility, including through my participation in I can't stand them, initiatives and events and longstanding supportive organizations such as the Elton John AIDS Foundation, the Elizabeth Taylor AIDS Foundation since its inception, Dr. Matilda Krim, Goslow We Deliver, and Project Angel Food." Whatever happened to that? Said homeless, not toothless? Didn't she have I was like, girl. But look, so I guess she answered my question, but she was talking about what she, I guess, donates money to. "My support for the community and WeHo Pride is unwavering. This this monumentally important event has always had a special place in my heart, and I will always cherish the experience I had acting as Grand Marshal of the LA Pride Parade with my daughter in 2005. I guess 10 years a difference a difference a decade makes, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Because she was a grand marshal 11 years ago, and nobody had a problem then. But I guess it's because all this stuff we didn't have to deal with all that. Well, Trump was, we've been dealing with his ass for 10 years, but the times was different then. Now that we have way more information, the world is in a different place than we were 10 years ago. People are in their feelings. Thank you to everyone who worked so hard to make it happen, and I wish the community nothing but love, joy, and a fantastic WeHo Pride celebration. So in the end, Hilton was granted a discreet exit with a closing thank you for the city and WeHo Pride. Okay, so there's that. But let's see what the peoples are saying in the comments, because I'm like, how they feeling about all of this? So yeah, indigenous pride situation. Let's see what some of the people saying. Jackie B said, respect and appreciate this decision. Miss Coco Peruse giving him gave us some applause. Uncle Mario Diaz, I live for him. So he gave some hand claps. Sweep the leg said Hilton dropped out. Happy to see at WeHo City and at WeHo Pride listening, responding quickly to this. Another person said her perceived with potential MAGA connections makes her a good representation to be our community pride grand marshal. Seriously, I support Indigenous Pride LA's decision. Another person said Indigenous Pride LA understands that they are responsible for creating safe spaces, for protecting its people, and for being an ally to others. They take these things seriously, while some who should know better insist on the opposite. Proud of y'all for taking a stand. And so now over at the WeHo Pride thing, because I was just reading Indigenous one. We see Frankie Grande's in the comments. Willem said everyone on the board needs to be replaced. Why would so many people agree to this? And then also Willem said, in regards to the WeHo Pride joint statement, oh, I think I might have closed it out. So for y'all, because I thought I was mirroring it on the other side. She said, what a cop-out appointment a LGBTQIA person. Yeah, because what they're saying is that they don't have anybody to replace. And that's what I was saying. I said, when she said what a cop-out, appoint, I think she meant appoint. She put appointment. But yeah, appoint a queer person as the replacement. You know how many drag queens in West Hollywood that you could just ask to be a grand marshal? Like, it's not that hard to find a replacement. Y'all got 3 more days. Well, 2 more days to give that time so that way they can be up, ready, and get glammed or whatever. You could have just picked one of the drag race girls. How many of them bitches live in LA? You could have picked one of them to be a grand marshal. Shit, RuPaul got a new movie out. You should have had him get up there in that little Pee Wee Herman suit. Another person said they talking about Ramada, but I don't know how to say your fucking name. They said we did it, Joe. WeHo is a Ramada girl. Another person said, oh, Luscious Massacre says, so wait, is the Grand Marshal position open? Now, Midas Hart said, or maybe pick one of the thousands of people who have been working in LGBTQ activism and community building for literal decades that lives in this city. That's what I was saying. You can pick a drag queen, you can pick somebody who's an activist within the situation. Another person said, instead of listing all the ways she has supported the gay community in her statement, she should have just said she doesn't support DJT or his discriminatory policies. You can't say you support us and still support him. Then someone said that make who's Meg Stalter, the new Grand Marshal. She'll be there anyway. Just drop her off the float at the end. Another person, we have somebody who's vouching for Luscious Massacre. Said our Grand Marshal should be Luscious or someone of the community. Give the honor to those actually in the streets. That's what I said. Those who are actually out there pounding the pavement, being an activist, that sort of thing, you should be giving them, you should definitely platform them or give them an opportunity. Willa went on to say this. She said she don't need to come to our party or parade if she willingly goes to Trump's parties and smiles and takes pics. That's not an ally. And a lot of people up in there agreeing with her. Said, and one person said, not to and see, this is what I was saying too. One person in the comments said, not to mention Hilton Hotels supporting ICE. She has no place at Pride. So a lot of people are thanking Willem for what she said. And I agree with all this. And you know what? A lot of you Pride events, y'all need to do better with what y'all be doing. And we keep talking about this all the time. Not just with, it's like the white gays don't, the white gays, the black gays, y'all all be doing, because Black Pride, y'all just as messy with the people y'all be choosing too. And especially when y'all be having homophobes like Kaya and them up in there, giving them a check when you should be giving it to the queer artists that actually make music for the LGBTQ community. It's like these people that are the gatekeepers of all this, y'all got y'all priorities all fucked up. Y'all need to get right with yourselves and Jesus. So anyway, I'm done talking about this lady. So I'll say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story? Do you think this is the right in my opinion, this is the right decision? But for them to just get rid of the grand marshal altogether, that's a pussy ass move. It's a cop out. There's so many people out here that do the work as a grand marshal, and the people like, who's that? Fucking educate them. See, that's what y'all all y'all care about is going viral and having a famous name attached to something, so that way people are talking about y'all instead of remembering what Pride is truly all about. It's not about some famous reality star, glazing y'all nuts while y'all are out and about. It's about celebrating us as a people, where people talking about we're an abomination, all that other bullshit. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Just got in. What made me leave LA to go to New York? I should have said it in the thing. I just couldn't. As Madonna says in Mother and Father, I couldn't take the loneliness. I couldn't take the phoniness. But no, I mean, even though I had people out there I knew, it did feel kind of lonely at times. But then again, I'm very antisocial because of the Virgo thing. But it was like me having to get to know new people. I did meet people when I was out there. I was mingling with a lot of the porn stars and the drag queens and the usual when I would go to Evita and all the other clubs out in West Hollywood. But I also didn't like how fake and phony a lot of the people within that world is, how they are. So that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. And then I just got homesick too. I mean, yeah, it was like my mother spent more time buying me furniture and shipping it out there. But and then I ended up shipping it back. But then it was like, and then so I like being amongst the thing of you running into Hollywood people all the time. Like I would go to when I said I would go to Century City, you run into celebrity and stuff all the time. I ran into Jay Leno. I saw Kelly Clarkson out there back when she was with the husband who passed away. And the kids ran into Halle Berry. You run into a lot of celebrities when you out there in not West Hollywood, in Beverly Hills, because I used to work out there. I lived in Silver Lake, but worked in Beverly Hills, and so I also think I got homesick. It's a lot more. And one thing I will give about LA that I like, it's very warm. I love the weather. The men are hot too. And it's very laid back. So I kind of like that vibe. It wasn't so like in New York, everybody's always on edge. So I do like that. Oh, I don't go to a gym in Chelsea. I go in Midtown Manhattan, yeah. Oh, you said just got here. Did she say she's there's people who believe that she has ties to Donald Trump and that she is MAGA. I don't have any evidence of them saying that, but they feel like that she is. And then there was something that came out that I saw somewhere on social media that they pulled up a clip of Paris Hilton in an interview saying that she pretended to vote for Trump back in what was it? And like I think when he first ran, and she was like, I didn't even vote for it. I didn't even vote. So there was a lot of that went around. So they feel like the equation of usually have to rewind it back to watch the whole thing. But to sum it up, there's rumors that she is MAGA. There's also rumors that of Erica Jane, where she talked about when they did the Housewives, that they were out in Aspen, they went to a club, and she used a homophobic slur against the DJ. So, which she has denied, but Erica's like, there's no reason for me to lie. Like, why would I, of all the things, I would say that and make it up? All right, y'all. So now let's get into some more homosexual news. And let's talk about Karamo. So Karamo basically came out and finally revealed what I've been saying for the longest. He's talking about his botched plastic surgery. Because it's like, when you look at that face, that's how I look when he smiled. The lip going, them cheeks is all bubbled out. Like he's giving like, who was that woman? Oh, I don't want to do that because she passed away. But you know how like some of the trans girls when they get all that, they get the fill in their face, it look like y'all got cement up in there. That's literally what his face was giving. I think I do have a couple of the pictures. Hold on, let me look. Oh yeah, I do. So let me put this one up, and then I'm gonna show y'all the other one because I gagged. I'm like, "What, girl?" Yeah, when you see, he literally looked like that with his face, and you can't sit up here and tell us that, girl. What did you do up in here? First of all, you black. Black don't crack. Why the fuck would you put that shit up in your face? See, you hanging around them women and them damn white people all the damn time. So when you around them all the time, because I remember once upon a time when your ass was over there on what was that show? The Real World. He was very anti-white in a lot of. I'm not saying racist or prejudiced. Well, black people can't be racist because black people don't hold autonomy over another race. White people have, for centuries, 400 years slavery, have been able to do that. Black people can be prejudiced. They can't be racist. So he was very much anti. I don't want to mingle with white people or get in a relationship. Cut to him getting famous, and all of a sudden he started dating white men. It's funny how that works, right? But anyway, so he's telling all of his plastic surgery procedures business following the cancellations of both his Netflix makeover show Queer Eye and his daytime talk show. The 45-year-old reality star just revealed he underwent a buccal fat removal procedure. I don't even know what the hell that is, which takes excuse me, 1 hour and costs around $4,000 in 2021 after packing on 70 pounds during the COVID-19 pandemic. He said, I was a big boy, and everyone online liked to tell me how much of a big boy I was. This is what he told people on Tuesday. So I was like, okay, maybe if I slim out my face, I'll be cute. It turned into a year and a half of pain. Well, girl, you can't just suck out fat from your face and then expect, oh, well, you're going to be fat everywhere else. You got to work out. Now, if you want to do a little sculptation to smooth out certain things, if you got like skin like hanging or whatever the case is, then I can understand that. But why would you do this whole thing where I'm gonna get my face like sucked out, but I'm gonna still have the fat everywhere else? So the two-time Emmy winner suffered from chronic pain and experienced trouble speaking after scar tissue buildup began blocking his salivary glands. He said, there'd be times you'd see me smile and it was tight. You mean like this picture? My cheeks would be big because they were full of saliva, full of scar tissue. I was in the worst pain. The K Wellness founder continued, there be times when I was filming my show that my mouth would get so dry that it would be so swollen. I felt embarrassed that I did this to myself. I would never do it now. This is what he said. Now, Bacal fat removal, which permanently extracts the fat pads in the lower cheeks for a more chiseled look, became trendy in 2021, and John Legend's wife Chrissy Teigen was one of the few celebs who admitted to the procedure. She said, I did that Dr. Jason Diamond Bacal fat remove thing here, the 40-year-old Cravings founder said on Instagram at the time. And since I quit drinking, I'm really seeing the results, and I like it. Yeah, I did. It what? Hey, well, girl, that's your face. You the one that got to deal with the consequences. You being on defensive. Now, the Super Mario Galaxy movie actress Anya Taylor-Joy has suspiciously sharper cheekbones since her brunette days back in 2018. Court-stealing actress Zoe Kravitz is another celebrity rumored to have undergone Bacal fat removal, among other cosmetic procedures over the past decade. And here's the thing. First of all, Zoe, I hope it's not true because you're a pretty girl. Like, you are literally a splitting image of your mother. You don't need to be out here doing all that crazy surgery stuff. What is wrong with y'all? I just think a lot of you celebrities get bored. But anyway, other people that have been accused of having it done, there's a list. So buckle up. Jenna Ortega, Demi Moore, Margot Robbie, Megan Fox, Sophie Turner, Bella Hadid, Miley Cyrus, Lauren Sanchez Bezos. I believe every word of Lauren Sanders. Y'all seeing how she look? The bitch look like the Joker now. Ariana Grande Frappuccino, Cynthia Erivo, Leah Michelle, Amelia Gray Hamlin, and Dove Cameron are also suspected of having it done. Now, Brown remedied his botched job by losing 70 pounds off his 6'2" frame in 2023, 1 year after the Ozempic GLP-1 agonist craze officially went global. Nobody believes in just fucking diet and exercise. It's like, we need the easy way. Like, I understand if you need a start to get rid of a lot of the weight, but Get an exercise. Never happened to that. Is that no longer in fashion? Everything is like an injection in the ass and the weight all comes off. I know you don't get an injection in the ass for Ozempic, but I'm just saying. Then he went on to say the scar tissue and the saliva was still there, but because I was skinnier, it looked kind of normal. I stopped eating because it helped the feeling of not having so much scar tissue. Brown later enlisted plastic surgeon Dr. Carl Truesdale to remove the scar tissue and mend his swollen saliva glands, as well as performing a lower blepharoplasty. I don't even know that. Oh, the blepharoplasty on his eyes. I was like, while we're under, can you get rid of my bags? He got rid of like 60% of my bags. Now, Brown has been making headlines over the fractured relationship with his Queer Eye castmates, Jonathan Van Ness, Borowski, and 10 Friends, ever since the 10th and final season, blah, 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 so on and so forth. Now, the so-called culture expert who holds a business administration degree, claims he felt mentally and emotionally abused for years until his mother overheard the co-stars allegedly talking shit about him behind the scenes. We already know that. So, and then we talked a little bit about what he said that he was enduring a lot of fighting with the group behind the scenes since the beginning. And then I was just like, I believe it, because remember, you can't have Karamo and Bobby Burke both having issues with them other three and they not be the problem. It's like, okay. If it's one, it's like, okay. But now 2 out of the 5, something's up. So yeah. Then they said that the single father to first found fame in 2003 competing on a heterosexual dating game show. Child. The fifth wheel before publicly coming out as a homosexual in 2004 while starring on MTV's The Real World Philadelphia. He also talked about producers of the show orchestrating a scene during the first season. Remember the scene in the first season of Queer Eye where they get pulled over by the police? And then how he was talking about he was shitting a brick, and of course it's a trigger for Black people when they get pulled over by the cops. I remember I endured that when I was in the car with my friends and I'm in the back seat, and yet we got pulled over by the cops. They want to check a license. I said, "Oh, I've never been profiled like this in a situation." So me having to endure that, I totally get it. How that is a trigger for Black people. Remain calm. You already know what this shit is. Go along with it, and we all know what it is. I mean, it ain't right, but we know. And so um he basically said the producers cooked that mess up. So this is a little start, I guess, for them to have like a moment. But the show, that ain't cute though. Like you up in here playing with these people, playing with Karamo at his expense for ratings. Like fuck out of here with that. But anyway, so I'm glad that you was able to work out what you. Well, I don't know if the face fully recovered because based off of what he looked like on the right, that's the recent People magazine photo shoot. I'm assuming that the face went back to normal, but it's like, look. People, leave y'all face alone. Just do the old fashioned shit. Ozempic. Wait, there ain't nothing old fashioned, old fashioned about Ozempic. But just maintain your figure. Don't be doing all that extra shit and putting things in your face and having to do some weird procedures. Especially these people are gonna be messing you up and you're gonna be enduring pain or whatever the case is. Y'all be trying to get these quick results and stuff, and it ends up affecting you in the end. So good luck to you and leave your face alone. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story regarding Karamo Brown finally admitting there was something going on with that face? Because that shit was not natural. And I was saying that from the beginning. I'm like, girl, what happened to you? So whatever your thoughts are, let me know what your thoughts are on this story in the comments down below. He probably got too much Botox. Yeah, he definitely looked like it was some Botox thrown up in there. So I don't think it was just that procedure. It does look like you probably threw some Botox up in there too. Wasn't Karamo judging a Black girl for probably for dating a white man and shortly after went on to be with mm, I wouldn't be surprised. Karamo in that photo looks like Jack Nicholson in that Batman. Oh yeah, you talking about when he had the white face? When the not the white face, when he took the white makeup off. Yeah. Well, you pretty much wrote it in the damn thing. You said when the Joker puts on skin colored makeup. Oh yeah. What is AGRA? All right, y'all. So now let's get to our final topic. And let's talk about Drake Vaughn. So yesterday we reported that Drake Vaughn was arrested for alleged DV. Kind of find out it wasn't a man that he put his hands on. It was a woman, which goes to show that I guess he is gay for pay. And that whole thing with him and being with somebody in his 40s was a publicity stunt. Because just like he's trying to claim with this mess, this is a publicity stunt as well. So he's apparently firing back at allegations that he strangled his female partner and basically is blasting the criminal charges against him as a bunch of crap. So it's like, girl, please, nobody believes you. So less than 24 hours after news broke that Drake Vaughn was arrested on domestic battery charges for allegedly strangling his partner, the adult film star is claiming the whole thing was a publicity stunt. The 23-year-old star, whose legal name is Dawson Bacon, was arrested in Las Vegas on June 2nd, according to court records obtained by TMZ. He's now allegedly facing charges of felony domestic battery by strangulation, felony coercion constituting domestic violence with threat to use of physical force, and misdemeanor domestic battery. Now, an exclusive statement sent to Out, Vaughn stated that all charges against him will be dropped and the case dismissed, and that reports to the contrary are false, saying, "I'm very good mentally. This was all a publicity stunt." I think your comment was a publicity stunt, and I think you're full of shit. But let's get into the thing. Now, after his arrest, wait, hold on, because I want to show you all this. So, if this is a publicity stunt, right, then how in the name of the good old Lord upstairs did we get this? Where'd that come from? Because it's the Register of Actions, State of Nevada versus Bacon Dawson William. Case type felony CR. The date will file 6/3/2026. So this is all fake? This was made up by AI? This is what you're trying to tell us? It literally has the number of, what is it, Justice Court Scope ID Subject Identifier. They have the number up there. And it says charges Bacon Dawson William. Domestic battery by strangulation, 54740, coercion constituting domestic violence with threat or use of physical force, domestic battery, first offense, other events and hearings. They said that the original track assignment, 6/3/2026, case assignment sent, 6/3/2026, DA request for prosecution, 6/3/2026. And then, so yeah, we have all of this stuff up in here. And they said the bomb was posted on July. Oh, wait, hold on. This is 7/1/2026. Child, we in 6/1/2026. What does that mean? Oh, they say a state check on filing of criminal complaint. 8:30 a.m. Judicial Officer Nancy Bernstein. So Nancy Bernstein, a fake name? So I don't understand what is Willis talking about? And the reason why I had to post this up here, because if I showed y'all where straight up gay porn actually had the information and stuff. But child, if I showed you that, y'all would have been seeing dinglings and things. I was like, I can't show this. But one thing I do want to show y'all is a video that came out where they said that he was in a confrontation. Speaking of straight up gay porn, they're the ones that actually posted it. Allegedly showing Vaughn in a confrontation with another person involving a knife. Now, in the clip, he can allegedly be seen approaching someone holding a camera. The person behind the camera could be heard repeating, "Back the fuck up." And then he's saying, "Come here, bitch." And then she basically like threatening like she gonna stab him. So I'm gonna show y'all that. It's a real quick 14 seconds, and we're gonna come back and talk. Just watch it.
Back the fuck up. 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 I don't want to fucking stab you right now. Back the fuck up. Back the fuck up. Back the fuck. Back the fuck up.
Why does he look like he's on something? Or is it just me? That boy look like he on some drugs. And I wouldn't be surprised if he is either. So In a response to all the social media backlash, Vaughn says the video circulating online is a fake video that's old as hell. How can it be a fake video that's old as hell? I mean, if it's fake, it's fake. It can't be old as hell and fake. It's either fake or it's not. These 22-year-olds really think they could just try to pull one over on you and like we all dumb. So he said it's a fake video that's old as hell and completely unrelated to this incident. Well, maybe straight up gay porn is posting it because they're saying like you have a history of violence. And that his future is bright and I'm going to stay on my grind. The adult star also posted a shirtless mirror selfie with a cheeky caption on June 4th, implying that he's out of jail and doing well. The Instagram post made Thursday morning shows Vaughn sticking his tongue out with the caption, feeling good, following by the woozy face emoji. Vaughn's arrest came out on the same day as the finale episode of Out TV's Ultimate Boys Trip, the new reality series that he made his television debut alongside fellow adult film stars Max Connor, Boomer Banks, and Joey Mills, which Joey Mills has I know that they had pressure doing the show. So but I'll read y'all from Straight Up Gay Porn because they had like all the updates regarding everything that was going on. And I can't show y'all the page because they got a lot of all these advertisements on it, got peen pics, and I ain't trying to get my page taken down. So they went on to say that well, we don't need to go to through the thing because we already talked about it. So they said 23-year-old Dawson Bacon, who began performing in gay porn at the age of 18 alongside his twin brother, Silas Brooks, is still in custody. And, well, he's out of jail right now, so we don't need to go into that. Now, update one, they said, as some might recall, Dawson Bacon has a history of being accused of violent assaults. Straight Up Gay Porn was made aware of one incident in April of 2022 when Bacon allegedly attacked a former partner and broke through their apartment window before chasing them out of the property. Photos obtained by Straight Up show the broken window that Bacon then climbed through to stalk his alleged victim. And below, exclusive video of the 2022 attack provided to Straight Up Gay Porn today shows Bacon just after breaking the window and climbing into the Las Vegas apartment. He could be seen chasing the victim, who was defending themselves with a knife, through the apartment and then outside, despite being told repeatedly to back the fuck up, which is the video I showed y'all. Now, no charges were filed following this April 2022 break-in, but the person who lived in this apartment tells Straight Up that they were attacked again in September of 2022, and Bacon allegedly gave them a black eye. Straight Up has seen a photo of this black eye, but in order to protect the victim's identity, the photo will not be published. The victim is not connected to Bacon's arrest this week, which involved a separate victim in a different house. So, Drake, if you actually read Straight Up Gay Porn's post, or maybe you weren't even aware of it, you would have known that they even said in their report that the victim is not connected to Bacon's arrest. What they were doing was they were creating a timeline to show that you have a history of domestic violence. So if you out here being accused of domestic violence with this current person, nobody's surprised that because you have a history of doing what it is that you've been accused of doing. That's the point. But you know, when you're young and dumb and you think with your big old dick rather than, well, except for the brain that matters, the muscle up here instead of down there, this is how they think. They think they got one over on you. But let me finish. Then update number 2, they said Dawson Bacon's Clark County record is almost as extensive as Drake Vaughn's scene list with men.com. Straight Up has found the court docket for another one of Bacon's arrests, and this one was for 2 misdemeanor battery charges in September of 2022. This appears to be connected to the assault mentioned above that resulted in the black eye, and the case was ultimately dismissed in 2023 after Bacon pleaded no contest. Conditions of the plea included staying out of trouble, attending an impulse control counseling class, that clearly didn't help, and having no contact with the victim. The record is below, and it's again worth noting that Bacon has worked as an exclusive with men.com since 2024, despite multiple arrests and a history of violence. It's not, well, you know, men.com does some stupid parody porn things now, where it's like it's got the worst fucking acting under the sun. I do have one of the pictures. Hold on, let me show y'all. You can see it here. Wait, that's not it. I want to show this one. Yeah, so there's one of the pictures. And let me close this out. Hopefully, I was like, yeah, please don't show the adult stuff. And let me expand this. So yeah, now this one is the one of the previous situations that we was talking about. His the charges that was back in 2023. It's so damn small, I can't even read it. But it said that the deferred disposition $250. So yeah, all the information and stuff is there. I believe every word of this. He's a hot ass mess and he needs to get some help. And it just seems like this adult industry will continue to enable him because he's young, because he's cute, because he has a big dick, and he makes this industry a lot of money. So they're going to continue to look the other way while he continues to project problematic behavior. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story regarding the latest on Drake Vaughn? Do you believe that it's a publicity stunt, or he just out here being full of shit because yet again he got caught out here in some mess, and now he's trying to make it seem like he wasn't out here doing nothing crazy? So whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. Mm-mm. You said I'm still here. Mm. From what Ace Carter said about him, he definitely does seem like a douchebag. You have to hide your drink. Well, that's why it is. It looks like he was on something. Like he's probably an alcoholic. He definitely has a rhymes with hugs problem, and the 5 charges of evidence. 5 charges is evident. I think he meant is evident of that. Ace Carter low key a nut. Ooh, he low key a nut too. Ace Carter, the one that I think he moved it. He's the one that just did a whole video. First of all, he's gross. He burps and farts and all that other shit on camera. I'm like, can you not be a fucking frat boy for 5 seconds? So because he passed, I remember when he did his last video where he announced that he left America because of Trump, and now he lives in Brazil, farting all over the camera. I'm like, child, and don't give a fuck because he lived in New York, where he said that he was paying $6,000 for rent living in Central Park, and then he said he was paying $8,000. I'm like, girl, get that price together, because I'm like, how much was you paying? But you said Ace definitely gets a side eye for me as well, but he does put out well-researched commentary videos on gay corn news. Still a weirdo, though. You said Ace said Drake uses a lens to enhance the size of his girth. If you have to close your eyes to be high in all your scenes, I think that means something that's obvious. But yeah, a lot of them girls do that. Lanier says, I'm sure I mentioned my article years ago about gay for pay performers having violent tendencies because of denying themselves. In the end, they bring it on themselves, but absolutely. And that's why I was saying yesterday, no one put a gun. I do not believe that anybody that gets into doing adult cinematography with someone of the same gender is straight. There's no way in hell, ain't enough drugs, ain't enough enhancement things or injections you can put in your dick to maintain your hardness that will make you want to be in proximity of having sex with a man. I don't care how much you tell yourself the money is good. Because quiet as kept, the money ain't even as great as it once was. You be hearing people talk about here how they doing a scene as $800. When have you ever heard them paying $800 for a scene from back in the day? Men used to make buku coin doing gay corn back in the day. So there ain't enough money in the world. A lot of y'all really be having them bisexual tendencies, and you feel like by hiding behind the adult angle, that's your little mask, because you don't want to come to terms with admitting that you could be pansexual, you could be bisexual. There's nothing wrong with being bisexual. I just wish that people would just be more honest with who they are. But we live in a society, America, where there's such a deep-rooted shame when it comes to sex and sexuality. So I do think a lot of that is deep rooted in that, where it's like you get your violent tendencies. Ace Carter is the one that posted revenge corn and made that. Did it? He also goes live on not Fufu TikTok accounts and shows his peeing on live until it gets banned, which is weird. Because I think with him, he just wants to do whatever he wants to do without any kind of repercussion or whatever. I also remember that he was up in there talking about, because he went and talked about, oh yeah, well, I was able to move to Brazil, that everybody could just, if you want, you could just get up and move and it should be a problem. I said, well, of course, you can say that because it's easy for you. What responsibilities you got? But everybody don't have the luxury of being able to just get up and have money falling out of the sky where they could just run over to some country and escape whatever's going on here. Everybody don't have that luxury. So when you sit up here and somebody has no excuse, you don't understand people's circumstance. And I hate when people be saying that shit. But exactly, a 30-year-old frat boy. That's exactly what he is. All right. But anyway, we are officially done with today's show. I want to thank you all for tuning in to the latest episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. I'm gonna try to see if I can squeeze in a show over the weekend. If not, I'll see you guys next week because we are at the end of the thing. I'm gonna be working the Knicks game tomorrow, game 2. Let's hope that we could do Knicks in 4, full sweep. Bring out the broom again because the last 2 games, it was like 11. What was it, 11 games straight? Made history with that. So we definitely deserve this championship and we definitely fighting for that shit. So thank you all for watching. Thank you all for tuning in. Hit that like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Love you all for watching. Thank you for your continued support. And until next time, ciao, darlings.